.87.
Oh, boy, that's nice.
Good
That's
numbers.
Nice. That's lower by about, what does the team earned run
Team
average?
ERA is 2.82.
Okay, so about half a point lower. The Crabs are now being introduced to the crowd. As we mentioned, they are wearing their camouflage tops. That gives us the numeral on their back. And the visiting PUF Caps are wearing their green tops, which they wore in that 12-inning contest Friday night with gray jerseys. I think I mentioned that this is the final game of the season for the PUF Caps. You might say, geez, the final game on the road, that's a tough thing to have to accomplish. Well, the fact of the matter is the PUF Caps are a road team. They're like the Seattle Studs in the sense that they don't play home games. They are a traveling road squad, and so this is typical for them, and they'd obviously like to end their season on a winning note. The Crabs broke their brief 2-game losing streak last night and come into this afternoon's contest with a record of 28 wins and 14 losses, which is 2/3 of all the games they've played. All right, we're about ready for our national anthem. Mike Craighead will sing our national anthem.
All right, as always, a fine job with the national anthem by Mike Craighead, local blues artist.
Yeah, it's with the Mike Craighead Quartet, I think.
Trio, I believe.
Trio, is it? Okay, that plays at a number of local clubs, and it's great to have. Mike usually does a couple, 2 or 3 times a year, sings the national anthem for us at the ballpark.
PUF Caps have a lot of, I noticed they have a lot of rituals and a lot of sort of superstitious things they do. I watched them last night. They had some kind of ritual out before the game, and now another one out here where they all gather and recite something. I don't know what it is.
Well, I guess it's.
And then when they're having a rally, when they win a rally, they all sit there with the bats.
Yeah.
They hold the bats straight out in front of them and wave the bats up and down in the dugout. Kind of fun.
I guess it's some kind of bonding activity.
I'm assuming,
get them
bonding.
close together.
I get it. Bonding. Capitalist.
No, it really wasn't.
Oh,
that was inadvertent.
Oh, okay.
The puns are so bad they inadvertently pop up, I guess. On the mound for the Crabs, Reed Fannenstein, and he'll be pitching to Jacob Thurber. Thurber in the crouch behind the plate. Newt Johnson will be at first base this afternoon. Brian Pozos at second. David Hamilton moves back to shortstop this afternoon, and Michael Perry at third base. In the outfield, James Outman will be in left, Logan Bush in center field, and Jason Newman will be patrolling right field. One thing we ought to note in terms of the Crabs with a week plus a day to go in the season, all year, virtually all year, and perhaps back to the first week of the season, the leading hitter on the Crabs has been James Outman, overwhelmingly. it's not overwhelming anymore. Michael Perry is creeping up, and
Yeah.
now Outman is hitting 377, and Perry is up to 365.
That's right. And Perry also is slugging over 650 now, and Outman's slugging 545. So Perry's definitely leads the club in slugging by a wide margin now, and Outman is ahead of him in on-base percentage by about 30 points.
Yeah, Outman and Hamilton are the two best walkers on the team.
Outman leads in walks. He has 28. Hamilton has 27 now.
All right. We're ready to go. It'll be Matthew Acosta to lead it off for the PUF Caps. Do we have last night's stats with us?
Yes, we do.
What did Matthew do last night?
Oh, 1 for 4.
Left-handed hitter. And the first pitch to me shows bunt, and instead takes a fastball right down the heart of the plate for a called strike one. Perry not expecting bunt. He's 3 or 4 feet behind the bag at third base. Likewise at first is Newt Johnson. The next pitch is again a called strike on the outer portion of the plate. So Fanenstein coming out throwing strikes ahead 0-2. A quick worker. He comes back to the plate and misses wide with a fastball 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes. The pitch. Fly ball into right field and deep. It's going. It is gone. A home run by Matthew Acosta on a 1-2 pitch.
That was blasted. There was no doubt about that. That was just a rope onto the roof of City Hall.
So the PUF Caps break out on top with a solo home run by their leadoff hitter, Matthew Acosta. And he is greeted warmly, as you can imagine, by the PUF Caps coming out of the dugout. That'll bring up Javier Valdez Jr., right-handed hitting shortstop.
1 for 3 last night.
The pitch is wide, and it goes to the backstop, 1-0. I always wonder with a player like Valdez, do you call him Valdez Jr.? Each time
I have
you talk
been,
to him? Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Just because it's on his lineup
Like
card
Griffey
that
Jr.?
way. Yeah,
Right.
I'm assuming he likes to be called that since it's been on the lineup card that way every game.
Next pitch is high and outside, 2-0. And the 2-0 pitch. High pop-up foul, or fair territory, first baseman. Oh, boy, that's a high can of corn.
That took a long time.
Newt Johnson finally gathers it in for the first out. That was what they used to call a can of corn, because in the old days, on grocery shelves, corn was stacked near the top, and they'd have to...
But that raises a further question, is
Yeah.
why corn would be near the top as opposed to somewhere else on the shelf, or why something else would be at the top. I've never gotten that either.
That does raise that
Doesn't
question.
really explain it, ultimately.
We're going to put in a request to the National Grocers Association to see if we can get an answer to that for you, Benjamin. First pitch to Quintana is high and inside, 1 ball and no strikes.
I mean, you could put peas up there.
Fouled back to the screen, a ball and a strike.
Beets. But no, it's the corn.
It's corn. Well, I'm sorry I don't have an answer for you. We'll get right on that after the game. There's a foul ball at the plate. And the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Well, if you were off making a sandwich before sitting down and watching the ball game, you might have missed the leadoff home run by Matthew Acosta. The 1-2 pitch bounces in the dirt.
He didn't miss.
2-2. He did not. Two and two to Nicholas Quintana. Fanenstein reads Thurber, rocks into the wind, and the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to the shortstop. Up with it is Hamilton. Throw across the diamond. 2 down. Doing my part for Crabs history today. I'm wearing my Shorty shirt. Has the managerial record of Shorty Ames, 394 wins and 86 losses. That's a lot of wins. And that'll bring up Andrew Doshbach, right-handed hitter, takes a pitch outside, 1-0. Tried to check his swing, but did not go around. Doshbach had a big Friday night, had 4 base hits in 6 attempts. I don't know if he got any hits at all last night. Fouls that one off out of play. The count 1-1. No, Doshbach was 0 for 3 last night. So he's still 4 for 9 on the series. Right-handed hitting cleanup hitter. Bases empty, 2 down, and the count a ball and a strike to Doshbach. The next pitch is fouled at the plate. A ball and 2 strikes. It's Hawaiian Day at the ballpark, and so the umpires are festooned in Hawaiian shirts. I saw it was Jason Alexander before the game was wearing a grass skirt in the dugout. I was hoping they'd pass out pineapples or something like that. Would be nice. Okay, a ball and 2 strikes to Doshbach.
I was hoping they'd pass out tickets to Hawaii.
Well, that would be nice. that would be, yeah, for the 50-50 contest. To, fly you to Hawaii for a week. Be good. Maybe we could suggest that to the casino last night that passed out those cushions.
That'd be right,
maybe,
yeah.
Even better.
Up your game a little.
The 1-2 pitch. Fastball down low, 2-2. No, we do appreciate the cushions that were passed out last night by Shara Heights. You got 2 cushions when you came into the ballpark.
Well, cushions are a really good idea too because the bleachers
are a little
hard.
Yeah. The derriere could use some cushioning. The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball, just foul down the third base line.
Really? I saw chalk. I think that's a fair ball.
Umpire down there called it foul.
I don't see how. There was clearly a puff of chalk that bounced up.
Well, the puff of chalk bounced up prior to going over the bag. It's where the ball goes over the bag that counts. And,
right, okay.
So
right,
that may have been. I did see the chalk puff up.
No,
I didn't
you're
see
right.
where it happened.
That's right. No, it was before the bag.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Andrew Doshbach. It was a heck of a play by Perry at third base. Had it been a fair ball, he'd have gotten him out. A long throw to first had him beaten, but it's just a foul ball, and we do it again, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fannenstein kicks and deals. Misses wide with a fastball, and the count goes full to Doshbach. The 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Oh, a curveball. It absolutely froze him at the plate. No argument, no doubt about it. But the PUF Caps come up with a run on 1 hit. There were no errors and nobody left. And at the end of half an inning, it's the PUF Caps 1, the Crabs coming to bat. And you're listening to Crabs Baseball on KGOE 1480, Arcadia Eureka. I never saw it. I thought I saw Liam, bug you when you came in. I think you took my Diet Coke. Yes. I can't say for sure. We haven't had the film developed yet.
I wouldn't put much on what you remember. You thought you built in the scorebook the other night.
What kind of game are we playing here today? Your suggestion of turning my seat this way has made a big difference, though. Really have helped. Are we back? Welcome back to the ballpark. Big Ryan Zephyr-John, 6'4" right-hander. He's going to be a Jayhawk within a month, headed to the University of Kansas. He'll be pitching. In the squat behind the plate will be Maverick Handley. The infield, Doshbach at first base, Quintana at second, Valdez Jr. is the shortstop, and Lara the third baseman. In the outfield, it's Eden in left, Fletcher in center, and Acosta in right. Left-handed hitting Hamilton at the plate. The right-hander Zephyr John rocks into the windup. His first pitch of the afternoon is hit one hop to the second baseman. He's up with it, throws to first, one pitch, one out for the Crabs. That'll bring up Brian Pozos. We did not see Brian in last night's ball game.
Batting .243.
Throughout most of the year, that double play combination of Hamilton at short and Pozos at second, they've turned a number of twin killings. Fastball backs him off the plates, ball one.
Yeah, they've turned, well, I don't know if they've turned 39. Crabs as a team have turned 39.
I would guess the majority.
But a lot of those, most of those were Pozos and Hamilton.
Fouled off to the right and over by the picnic area, off the roof of the judo hut and into the picnic area, and somebody dropped it. And now they throw the ball back. Okay.
Well, you know, as we've noted,
got to bring your gloves.
Worst fielding fans in the world here at the Arcata Ballpark.
The 1-1 pitch. Fouled off, strike two. One and two to Pozos.
Thank you.
We're just underway, bottom of the first inning. A leadoff home run by Acosta has made it a 1-0 lead for the PUF Caps. The 1-2 pitch now to Pozos. Swings and hits it in the air to center field. Moving in and under it and making the catch is Fletcher for the second out. Mentioned earlier, Fletcher covers a lot of territory out there in center field. That was a routine fly ball, but we've seen him scamper.
He's made a couple catches in the gap, though, that were not routine.
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah.
Quite right about his ability to cover ground.
Ability to cover ground and also his instincts. He gets good jumps on the ball. That can make a huge difference. Here is James Outman, left-handed hitter leading the Crabs.
377.
And
Last
the
night
pitch.
he was 1 for 4 with a couple of runs scored and an RBI.
First pitch is low, 1-0.
He leads the team with 32 RBIs.
The 1-0 pitch. Fouled off to the left, strike one. 1-1 to Outman. Did the Crabs play airless ball last night?
I believe they did.
One and one the count.
No, they had one error last
They
night.
had one.
All right, because Hamilton, you'll remember,
Oh,
led
that's
off the
right.
game with an error.
Yeah, leading off the game. That's right. First base. Oh, he's hit by the pitch. Hit right around the hip. He's okay. Trots down to first base. It has occasionally felt like a dodgeball during this series. A lot of batters have been plunked. Fortunately, none hurt seriously. Oh, they get an owie now. That'll sting for a while. It'll give you a little bruise maybe, but nothing debilitating. That's what you worry about. Here is Newman. I don't like to use too many of these technical terms, medical terms in front of Benjamin Owie, for example.
Owie's not one I like that much. 295. Newman's batting 295.
Right-handed hitting cleanup hitter. Newman today playing in right field. Outman takes his lead at first. The pitch is lined foul down the right field area into the picnic area. Strike one.
You can see Arcata Rotary at the ballpark today having a picnic in right field.
All right. Welcome to Rotarians.
That's a business organization? Is that right?
It's a business organization that does a lot of community.
That's what I thought.
community
Okay.
good. 0-1 the count to Newman. Runner goes. The pitch is swung on and missed. The throw to second base, and they
he's
got
dead
him.
duck.
No, he called him safe. I must have missed the tag because the throw was there well in front of Outman.
Oh, he looked like he was out by a good foot and a half.
Yeah. So somehow the tag was missed, and credit Outman with a stolen base, and now the tying run in scoring position. The count, however, no balls and 2 strikes to Jason Newman. No argument on the part of the fielder, second baseman. So one would assume he understood he missed the tag. The 0-2 pitch. Curveball is grounded to the shortstop. He backhands it deep in the hole. A long throw across the diamond gets him. Nice play by Valdez Jr. to prevent Newman from getting an RBI to tie the game. For the Crabs in the first inning, no runs, no hits. There were no errors and one left. And at the end of an inning complete, it's the Puff Caps 1, the Crabs nothing. This is the Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480 Arcadia Rica.
Yep. Welcome back to the ballpark. Thanks to California State and Federal Employees Credit Union, member NCUA, California State and Federal Employees Credit Union. They're all local, all Humboldt, all the time. Join them in today. That's Humboldt's own CSFECU.
Cameron Eden will lead off against Fanenstein in the top of the second inning. He'll be followed by Maverick Handley and Dominic Fletcher.
I know where you get a steelhead.
Eden, right-handed hitter. Fanenstein rocks into the windup, and the pitch is a little punched into shallow right field. Second baseman comes up with it, but there's no one covering first. The pitcher, Fanenstein, late to get over. It
Well,
like
and
it
Johnson and Pozos were trying to field
Right.
it, so Johnson was not at first.
So a little flare into shallow right field, and the leadoff batter is aboard for the Puff Caps.
A little check swing.
Yeah, absolutely. Check swing, and just made it to the outfield by the time the ball was thrown to first base. Fanenstein late getting there, and the runner had crossed. Now a toss to first, and back on his hands is Eden. Maverick Handley, has he had a hit yet in this series?
Handley was 0 for 4 last night,
I think he's 0 for the series.
and he was 0 for 4 on Friday night as well.
Fastball is high, 1-0. Handley showed bunt and pulled it back, taking a look down at his third base coach. Third baseman Perry about even with the bag, and he was charging in on the first pitch to Handley. Eden takes his lead at first. The pitch. He's swinging away, and he fouls it off to the right out of play, 1-1.
Yeah, it's the best out of all the base carrying bases.
A ball and a strike to Maverick Handley. Eden held on by Newt Johnson at first base, has a fair lead. Throw to first base, and he's back on his belly safely. Again, Handley looking at the third base coach. Let's see if they put the bunt on here, 1-1. Fanenstein at the set. Again, a throw to first. That throw was high. A good play by Newt Johnson to gather it in. One and one to Handley. Again, Fanenstein comes to the rest. Again, he throws to first. Again, the runner is back. Now, if this was an opposing pitcher having thrown three times to first base,
fans would be all over him by now.
The crowd would be on his case, but not to our guy. All right, here we go. He is set. The runner does go. The pitch is fouled off at the plate. So Fanenstein was correct in thinking he had to try and keep Eden close to the bag. And on the 1-1 pitch, Eden took off, but the pitch was fouled at the plate by Handley, so the hit and run did not work, and the count now 1-2. Fanenstein struck out Doshbach to end the first inning. Again, a throw to first. Again, back on his hands is the runner. That one was a little closer. Eden has a decent lead at first. The 1-2 pitch, again he goes. The pitch is laced into left field, and it is going to be on a bounce for a base hit. Fielded there by Outman. James had a notion of trying to get it, but really didn't have a chance. It bounced in front of him off his glove, but he stayed, kept the ball in front of him, so there was no further advance. Eden stops at second base on Handley's single, and now the Puff Caps with runners at first and second. Nobody out here in the top of the second, and that'll bring up speedy Dominic Fletcher.
Outman did the right thing on that play. Instead of trying to dive to stop it and let him get past him.
Oh, boy. That
kept
would
it
have
in
been
front of him and kept the runner at second.
Absolutely. That would have been disaster if it had gone past him.
That happened to
no
the
backup.
Puff Caps last night. The left fielder dove for a ball and went past him.
Right. There's a bunt in the air, blocked by us. Hey, reach out and catch that ball. Strike one. So Fletcher tries to bunt unsuccessfully. Let's see if that's still on. He has looked down, and his third base coach has given him the sign. Perry inside the bag at third. Fletcher, even with a sacrifice, is no easy out at first base because he's got speed. So Crabs have to be aware of that. Here's the 0-1 pitch. He's not bunting. Instead, he lines it just past first base and into right field. Rounding third and coming to the plate. Now the throw is into second base. Back to first, safe everywhere. So an RBI single for Fletcher driving in Eden. Handley moves over to third. 3 consecutive singles, and the Puff Caps are now up 2-0, and they got runners at the corner and nobody out for Isaiah Davis, the designated hitter making his first appearance of the series. Right-handed hitter. Fanenstein at the set. The pitch. Davis swings on an off-speed pitch, 0-1. Again, Fletcher with speed at first, so they may send him and see how the Crabs are going to play that. Runners at the corners. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball, 0-2. And boy, if there's ever a time Reed Fanenstein would like a strikeout, it's right here. He's ahead, 0-2. Right-hander versus right-hander. Fanenstein at the belt. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball outside. Throw back to first base. It was close. Thurber, a fine throw to Johnson, and they almost had almost had Fletcher picked off first. 1-2 the count. Fanenstein is set. The 1-2 pitch. Got him on a pitch, but it bounces away from the catcher, and the runner is going to score. So was that a wild pitch? I'd have to call it a wild pitch strikeout, huh?
Yeah.
So Davis strikes out, but on the play, the wild pitch allows Handley to score, and it's now a 3-0 ball game. There is one out, and staying at at second base is Fletcher. So Fletcher moves to second on the wild pitch.
Yeah, that's the first out.
Fastball taken high and outside by Alejandro Lara, the number 9 hitter in the Puff Caps order. Lara 0 for 2 in last night's ball game. The 1-0 offering. Swing and a miss on a fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Fanenstein did what he wanted. He struck out Davis, but unfortunately struck him out on a wild pitch, and that allowed Handley to score from third base and Fletcher to move to second. 1-1 the count. The pitch. Low and outside with a breaking ball. Thurber lost it for a second and then saw it was right at his feet. The count 2-1. I want to ask Benjamin a scoring question here. There was a batter on first base on that play. So the strikeout meant the batter was out. They didn't, because the runner started at first, but then he ran to second that didn't affect what happened with the batter because the runner was already at
I
first
think
at
right,
the plate.
exactly right.
Play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's out if there's a runner at first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 2-1 pitch misses low and outside. 3 balls and a strike now to Lara.
Yes, had there been no runner, he would have made it to first as well because Thurber
Right.
couldn't get a handle on the ball.
Yeah. 3-1 to count to Lara. Right-hander versus right-hander. Fanenstein is set. The 3-1. Fouled off to the right and out of play. Three consecutive singles to start off this inning. Plated 1 run, and then the second came in on a strikeout wild pitch. There's 1 out, a runner at second, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes on the number 9 hitter, Alejandro Lara. The 3-2. Fouls it off back onto the screen to stay alive. Slight breeze blowing out. I would guess around maybe 8-9 miles per hour. That's what was predicted for today, and it doesn't seem like it's.
Really, you looked it up?
Yeah, look up the weather
Wow,
conditions at the ballpark.
You are
Hey, Mr. Weatherman.
really a
Traffic reports will be at the half inning.
really diligent radio broadcaster.
Oh
aren't
yeah,
you?
oh yeah. 3-2. Line drive into right field for a base hit. Let's see if they're going to bring the runner. He is going to stop at third base, and boy, it was well that he did because Newman threw a strike to the plate. So an opposite field single for Lara moves Fletcher to third, and now again the Puff Caps with runners at the corners. Only 1 out, and we go to the top of the order. Matthew Acosta, and all he did was lead off the ball game with a home run. And that's going to bring somebody to the mound.
I think it's Ciccone.
That is Eric Ciccone. And so the batter, Acosta, and the runner at third base, Fletcher, are meeting with the third base coach. Make sure they're all set. Handshakes over in the dugout for Alejandro Lara.
Nobody headed to the bullpen for the Crabs, although Ciccone is out on the mound.
Yeah, they may be starting someone soon.
Well, 4 hits in the inning now.
Again, you were talking about the rituals for the Puff Caps, and all the guys came over when Lara had time and came over and gave him they told Lara they loved him.
Ah, that's a good one. I like that.
I'm glad I can entertain Benjamin.
That's a good one.
Here is
That's
Matthew
really good.
Acosta.
That made 18 years worth it. Right there.
First pitch is lined into left field. That's going to be in there. A diving
Oh,
try.
nice catch.
Does he catch it? He does catch it. Tagging up and scoring on the sacrifice fly is Fletcher, but a fine play in left field by James Outman to prevent a base hit. So credit Acosta with a sacrifice fly. That's his second RBI of the game. Fletcher comes in to score. Lara holds at first base. And it's now a 4-0 ball game in favor of the Puff Caps. Next batter is Valdez, and he fouls the first pitch at the plate, 0-1. Valdez popped to the first baseman, Johnson, in the first inning. Fanenstein looks into Thurber for the sign. The pitch. Inside, does it hit him? It did. It plunked him. Looks like it got him on the forearm.
Yep.
So Valdez hit by a pitch. Lara moves to second. There are 2 outs, and here is Nicholas Quintana, the right-handed hitting second baseman. Quintana grounded out short to first in the first. He is the 8th batter to come to the bat for the Puff Caps here in the top of the second inning. Fanenstein is set, and the pitch. Line drive into right field. The right fielder comes in and has to play it on a hop. Rounding third and coming to the plate. Here comes the throw. Relay, no. Throw to third, no. Safe all the way around. Another run scores on Quintana's RBI single. That drives in Lara from second base, and Valdez scoots all the way around to third. It's now a 5-0 ball game. Still have runners at the corners, and the very dangerous Andrew Doshbach coming to the plate.
And still nobody headed out to the bullpen for the Crabs.
No one warming yet. It's 5-0. 2 men on, 2 men out, and Doshbach at the bat, a big right-handed hitter.
They're not hitting the ball super hard, but they're making consistently solid contact against Fanenstein.
Doshbach 5 for 10 in this series. The pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike one. Yeah, you've had, 5 singles this inning?
Yeah.
5 singles. 0-1 the count to Doshbach. Fanenstein at the stretch. The pitch. Outside with a fastball. Nice save by Thurber to prevent that from going to the backstop. A ball and a strike to Doshbach. Quintana leads from first. Valdez Jr. from third. The pitch. Runner at first goes. The throw to second base is high. That he got him. The tag was put on, and Quintana was caught stealing. However, in the second inning for the PUF Caps, they score 4 runs on 4 base hits. There were no errors and 1 left on base. And at the end of an inning and a half now, it's the PUF Caps 5 and the Crabs nothing. Listen to Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480, Arcadia, Eureka.
Actually said clear before you were off, but that's all good.
All right.
We're back.
I think we're back.
We are back.
Okay. Well, the Crabs are going to have to play catch-up and come from behind now. They trail 5-0, but a lot of time left. We're only in the bottom of the second, and the red-hot Michael Perry to lead it off. Right-hander versus right-hander. The first pitch to Perry is inside. 1 ball and no strikes.
Slugging .656 with a .447 on-base percentage. Yikes.
The next pitch to Perry is lined into left center field. The left fielder coming over, and he's not going to be able to get it. It's going to be a base hit. Falls in for a base hit. Quickly, the ball hustled back into the infield. So the Crabs have the leadoff batter aboard. That's their first base knock of the ball game, and that'll bring up Ryan Reynolds. They start this inning with 3 hot hitters, Perry, Reynolds, and Thurber. Last night, Reynolds drove in 4 runs.
Yeah, 4 RBIs. A hit and a run scored. Big hit of the game, that 3-run double.
Yeah, cleared the bases. Reynolds hitting from the left side against the right-hander Zephyr-John, and the pitch is fouled off to the left. Strike 1. Reynolds looking down to third base coach Tim Wheeler. I would be surprised if they had a play on here. You never know. The pitch taken low with a fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Wheeler flashing out signs.
I suppose there's something to be said for continuing to play aggressively early in the game, even though you're down by 5.
Yeah, good point. They may do the hit and run. Throw to first in Perry's back. Perry, pretty good speed. I think he's stolen, 5 or 6 bases this year?
5 out of 6.
Okay. Again a throw, and again Perry back on his feet. 6'4", Ryan Zefferjohn looks in for the sign from Handley, comes to the plate, and Reynolds fouls it off to the left out of play. So Zefferjohn ahead on the count now, a ball and 2 strikes. From the set, the 1-2 pitch. Fastball high and tight. 2-2. 2-2 to Reynolds. Zefferjohn at the belt. Kicks and deals. Fouled at the plate. Fastball on the inner portion of the plate. And Reynolds doing a nice job to foul it off and hang in there. That was a good pitch. 2-2 to Ryan. Switch hitting designated hitter in today's ball game. And the 2-2 pitch. Misses outside, 3-2. Let's see if Perry's going on this 3-2 count. Throw to first instead, and this time Perry back on his stomach, although the throw wasn't really close at first. The payoff pitch. Runner goes. The pitch is laced into center field. Center fielder coming in. He's going to have to play it on a bounce. It's a base hit for Reynolds, and the Crabs now with runners at first and second and nobody out. Couple of solid line drive singles off of Zefferjohn. And that'll bring up to the bat Jacob Thurber.
Thurber's batting .280.
0 for 3 in last night's ball game. He scored a run. Coach coming out to the mound. Going to have a talk with his pitcher. There is, as yet, nobody throwing in the PUF Caps bullpen. They will employ a plethora of pitchers. I think they've had at least 5 pitchers in the 2 ball games. And they've got a very full complement of pitchers. Not all the teams that come to our ballpark do, but he's not afraid to use a variety of pitchers.
No, he how many did he use last night? He used 1, 2, 5 last night.
I think an equal number, if not more, the first night.
4 on the first night.
Okay. Here is Jacob Thurber. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Left-handed hitting catcher stands in. The pitch from Zefferjohn. Thurber takes a fastball for a called strike 1. PUF Caps looking for 2. From the set. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Thurber, a big cut, comes up empty, and it's 0-2.
That was a good pitch.
Zefferjohn now with the opportunity to waste a few and trying to get Thurber to go for something out of the strike zone. Try and tempt him with a pitch low and away, perhaps. Let's see.
Or a high fastball.
It's a fastball right down the heart of the plate and fouled back onto the screen by Thurber. Jacob says, let's throw another one of those.
Yeah, it's the one where he missed last time. The pitch down a little bit, slightly down and in under the hands.
Well, that one was over the plate.
That one he missed a little bit with.
So we'll do it again. No balls and 2 strikes. Zefferjohn set. The 0-2. High with a fastball, 1-2. That's the kind of waste pitch that pitching coaches say is indeed a waste pitch. Not close, not tempting the batter, just giving up a ball. 1-2 the count. At the belt, Zefferjohn, a look back at second. He comes to the plate, swings and fouls it back to the screen, does Thurber, and the count remains a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, in major leagues, what you see a lot of, on an 0-2 counts are pitches in the dirt, a lot of breaking pitches down in the dirt. Exactly. Although with runners on base, they're a little more reticent to do that. But
well, Romo's made a career of it for the Giants.
Yeah, pitch in the dirt.
Throwing that slider in the dirt and getting the strikeout. It looks so good until it all of a
dives
sudden
out of the strike zone.
Dives away from you. Here's the 1-2 now to a Thurber. The pitch. Inside and low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Newt Johnson in the on-deck area taking some practice swings. 2-2 to Thurber. Zephyr John at the belt. He comes home. Line drive, foul. Well, foul. Off to the left and out of play. So we'll do it again, 2-2. Perry at second, Reynolds at first. Nobody out in the bottom of the second. Crabs trailing 5-0. Zephyr John's 2-2. Misses wide, 3-2. Now he's got to come in. Three and 2 to Thurber. Crab runners take their leads. They are modest. The payoff pitch. The runners go. The pitch is swung on and fouled off to the left out of play. So the Crabs sent both runners. Thurber fouled it off, so we'll do it again, 3 and 2. Wheeler flashing signs to the base runners from his third base coaching box. Zephyr John bluffs going to second base. There were no fielders there.
I was kind of hoping he'd actually throw it.
That would have been sweet. All right. Big spot early. 3 and 2 to Thurber. Again, bluffs the runner back to second. Good crowd on hand, and they are enthusiastic, urging the Crabs to get back in this one right now. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Got him outside, high and outside, ball 4. So the bases are F, O, C, full of crustaceans for Newt Johnson.
Nobody out.
Perry at third, Reynolds at second, Thurber at first, nobody out. Newt Johnson at the bat.
He was 0 for 5 last night. He comes in batting .245.
The pitch to him, fastball taken for a call, strike 1. Corner infielders are about even with the bags. Middle infielders looking for 2, but they're not pinched towards second base. The 0-1 pitch. Ground ball right back to the pitcher. He goes home for 1. The relay to first base. A double play. Oh,
well,
my
that
goodness.
was about the worst outcome we could have imagined.
Yeah, 1-2-3 double play. Pitcher to catcher to first baseman. So, on the play, Perry is cut down. Reynolds moves to third. Thurber to second. Excuse me. The Crabs now with runners at second and third and 2 outs. And it'll be up to Logan Bush to see if we can get something across, if we can plate somebody in this inning. That's a tough.
That's a rally killer for sure.
That sure is. It was hit well right back to the pitcher, and he did a good job of fielding it. The pitch to Bush. Fouled off to the left, strike 1. So the Crabs had the table set big time with the bases loaded, nobody out. The double play is a race 2. No runs have scored, but they've still got 2 runners in scoring position. And an 0-1 count to Logan Bush. Left-handed hitter facing the right-hander Zephyr John. The 0-1 pitch. Inside almost hits him. He has to back out of the way of that one. Low bridged on that pitch, and the count even at 1-1. From the set, working from the stretch, Zephyr John's pitch. Fouled straight back, 1-2. Zephyr John has not struck out a batter all ball game. He'd certainly like to get his first here. Crabs would like to prevent that and get a base knock and score a couple. 1-2 the count to Logan Bush. Zephyr John looks into Handley for the sign. Back foot on the rubber. Taking a long time. And time is called. It took a little too long, and Bush asked home plate umpire Michael Cowan, who granted him a time. Now he's back in the batter's box. Again, Zephyr John ready. Now the pitch. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball well outside, 2-2. David Hamilton in the on-deck area, hoping against hope to get an at-bat this inning. Two and two to Bush. Zephyr John at the belt. The pitch. Fouled off again, off to the left. We'll do it again, 2-2. Two balls and two strikes. 2 on, 2 outs in the second inning. A lot of deuces up on the board. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Again, fouled straight back, so Bush is making a Zephyr John work. He's fouled off some good pitches. And it's 2-2. Zephyr John ready. Once again, the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to the pitcher. He's got an underhand toss to first, and the Crabs are retired in the second inning. No runs, a pair of hits, no errors, and 2 left. And at the end of 2 complete, the score remains the PUF Caps 5 and the Crabs nothing. You're listening to Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480, Arcadia, Eureka. Wow, that hurt.
I'm going to go on the next one, baby.
Crabs would like to thank the North Coast Co-op, a natural foods consumer-owned cooperative grocery store located in the far reaches of Northern California. With 1 location in Eureka and 1 in Arcata, we feel fortunate to live in a place of immense beauty while serving the needs of our Humboldt County community. In Arcata, it's 8th and I Street. In Eureka, it's 4th and B. That's the North Coast Co-op. Heading into the top of the third inning, the PUF Caps leading by a score of 5-0. Andrew Doshbach, who was at bat when Quintana was caught stealing to end the second inning. Doshbach, a strikeout victim in his only at bat, and he'll lead off. He is the cleanup hitter for the PUF Caps, and the first pitch to him is a curveball that stays up, 1-0. Both bullpens are dormant here in the top of the third inning. The next pitch also misses high and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Doshbach. The PUF Caps with 5 runs on 5 hits in the first 2 innings off Reed Fannenstein. The next offering is swung on and missed. Big cut. Doshbach comes up empty, and the count now 2-1. Doshbach will be followed by Cameron Eden and Maverick Handley. The next pitch is fouled off to the right, so the count evened at 2. Two and two to Andrew Doshbach, leading off the PUF Caps third inning. A sun-drenched crowd at the Arcata Ballpark this afternoon. The next pitch is swung on and missed, down on strikes for the second time. That is the third strikeout of the ball game for Fanenstein, and that'll bring up Cameron Eden. Eden led off the second inning with a single, and he came around to score the first of 4 runs that they plated. Eden, right-handed hitter. Ground ball up the middle over second base and into center field. So Eden spanks his second single of the ball game. He'll be headed to Cal Berkeley in about a month. So Eden at first with 1 down, and that'll bring up Maverick Handley, who got his first hit of the series last inning and also came around to score. Eden with a decent lead at first base, held on there by Johnson. The pitch is a fastball a little bit low, 1-0. Maverick Handley looks down to his third base coach, flashing him a sign. Eden, edging off of first base, has a fairly decent lead. The pitch, in there for a call, strike. Ball and a strike now to Handley. Crabs are not expecting a bunt. Perry deep at third base. Johnson, of course, holding the runner Eden on at first. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Handley. Throw to first base and diving safely back is Eden. One and 1 to count. Fanenstein is set and the pitch. Low and in the dirt, a nice block by Thurber to prevent an advance by Eden at first base. 2 balls and a strike, the count to Handley.
Actually, that's kind of the good things that I like using my brother is that like when I do the basketball, they have to.
At the set. The pitch, runner goes, the pitch is low, and Thurber cannot come up with it. Looks around, where did that ball go? And it was at his feet. So a stolen base for Eden that puts him in scoring position with 1 out, and the count 3 balls and a strike to Marcus Handley. Fanenstein takes a little bit too long. Time called temporarily. Fanenstein looks into Thurber for the sign. Now he's set. The 3-1 pitch. Line foul just outside the third base bag. The count goes full to the right-handed hitting catcher, Marcus Handley. Fanenstein at the belt. The payoff pitch to Handley is grounded slowly to the second baseman. Throw to first base in time. Nice play by Pozos. Handley retired, and on the play, Cameron Eden moves over to third base. With 2 down, it'll bring up Dominic Fletcher. Fletcher, an RBI single in the second inning, and then came around to score himself. 2 down, so the infield back all the way around. The left-handed hitting Fletcher trying to pick up Cameron Eden at third base. Fanenstein choosing to work from the stretch in this situation with a runner at third, and his pitch. Ground ball to the second baseman. Pozos has got it. Throw to first, and that will retire Fletcher and the PUF Caps in the third inning. No runs, there was a hit, no errors, and 1 left at the end of 2.5. It's the PUF Caps 5 and the Crabs nothing. You listen to Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480, Arcadia, Eureka. Crabs would like to thank North Coast Audiology. We're always working to provide our patients with the best possible care. North Coast Audiology is many things to many people, but at its core, it reaches out to the community. We believe our work is an integral part of a viable Humboldt County. We believe strongly in the 70-year history of audiology, and the field as a whole must be protected and refined by serious students and careful practitioners. You can contact Julie Kelly at 2818 Harris Street, Eureka. Give her a phone call at 443-4503. That's Julie Kelly with North Coast Audiology. David Hamilton to lead it off in the Crabs' third. The first pitch is taken for a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike one. Hamilton grounded out second to first in the first. He'll be followed by Brian Pozos and James Outman. The next pitch is swung on and missed. Same spot. Good pitch on the corner. So Zephyr John ahead on the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Hamilton leading off the Crabs' third inning. The 0-2 pitch. Over but low. 1-2. Zephyr John gets his sign from Handley. And the 1-2. Outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch. Hamilton swings and punches it foul down the left field line and out of play. Crabs had a big opportunity in the second inning. They loaded the bases with nobody out, but a ground ball right back to the pitcher turned into a double play, and then they got out of it without a run scoring. There's a line drive foul down the left field line. So it remains 2-2. Yeah, the pitcher got the assist on all 3 outs in that inning. Started the double play and then got the ground ball from Bush to end the inning. That pitch is inside, so the count full to David Hamilton. Hamilton with a good eye at the plate, second in the club, drawing free passes. Here's the payoff pitch from Zephyr John. Ground ball just foul outside of first base, so we'll do it again, 3-2. Crabs, no runs on a pair of hits. The 3-2 pitch. Ground ball to the second baseman. He's up with it. Throw to first, 1 down. For the second time, Hamilton grounds out Quintana to Doshbach, 1 away, and that'll bring up Brian Pozos. Pozos hit a fly ball to medium depth center field in the first inning. The pitch. Fastball taken outside, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. Fouled off to the right, strike 1. Ball and a strike to Pozos. The next pitch is swung on and fouled at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count to Pozos. The next offering. Lined into center field. That's going to be a base hit. Little soft liner. Just over the head of shortstop Valdez Jr. and the Crabs have a runner aboard with 1 down. That'll bring up James Outman. He was the first Crabs base runner of the ball game. He was plunked by a pitch. Stole second base, but was stranded there in the first inning. Pozos held on by Doshbach at first base. The pitch to Outman is swung on and missed, strike 1. Oh, and 1 to Outman. Runner goes. The pitch is high and outside. The throw to second base, and he is a dead duck. Pozos caught stealing. That was a pitch out. You don't see that too often. I believe that was a called pitch out. If it wasn't, it was a perfect pitch out to a left-handed hitter. It was high and outside. Great spot for Handley to come up with it. His throw to second base wasn't perfect, but they had Pozos by several steps. The 1-1 pitch now to Outman is high. 2 balls and a strike. Nobody on now, 2 gone in the Crabs' 3rd inning. Zephyr John kicks and deals, and Outman takes the pitch low, 3-1. The 3-1 offering, fouled at the plate. Right-handed hitting cleanup hitter Jason Newman in the on-deck area. Taking a few practice swings and hoping to get an at-bat this inning. Zephyr John gets the sign from Handley, and the payoff pitch to Outman. Grounded foul outside of first base. We'll do it again, 3-2. There is a multitude here at the ball. I think we've got over 1,000 people this afternoon. Great crowd and a perfect day for baseball. Well, why would you want to be anywhere else? All right, 3-2 to Outman. The pitch. Lined into left field for a base hit. So a 2-out single by Outman. That caught stealing looms even larger now. And here is Newman. Crabs haven't had a long fly in this series. Little bit of breeze. Big power hitter at the bat. Good place to get their first round tripper of the series. Crabs trailing 5-0, so they're playing catch-up. Right-hander versus right-hander. Zephyr John's pitch. It swings and hits a long drive to left field. Back to the warning track, to the wall, and making the catch at the wall is Eden for the 3rd out. Newman gave it a ride but came up a little bit short. For the Crabs in the 3rd, no runs, a pair of hits, no errors, 1 left. And at the end of 3 complete, it's the PUF Caps 5 and the Crabs nothing. You listen to Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480, Arcadia, Eureka. Crabs would like to thank True Motion Fitness, a unique approach to movement health, focused on building a stronger, balanced, and stable you so you can move through life and desired activities with greater enjoyment and efficiency. True Motion Fitness is located at 9010 O Street in Arcata. You can give them a call at 822-3018. That's True Motion Fitness. Isaiah Davis to lead it off in the top of the 4th for the PUF Caps, and the first pitch to him is waved at and missed, strike 1. Davis, a strikeout victim in the 2nd inning. Pfannenstein has fanned 3 batters. Fastball away, 1 ball and 1 strike. Davis will be followed by Alejandro Lara, and then to the top of the order, and Matthew Acosta. Curveball, swing and a miss. He just ticked it into the glove of the catcher, the count 1-2. Fanenstein rocks into the windup, and the 1-2 pitch misses low. 2-2. 5 runs on 7 hits for the Puff Caps. No runs, 3 hits for the Crabs. The next pitch is grounded over the mound behind second base. Shortstop Hamilton has it and throws to first for the out. A fine play by David Hamilton, 1 down. Hamilton moves to his left as well as any shortstop we've seen out here in recent memory. And he makes tough plays look almost routine. 1 down, and that'll bring up Alejandro Lara. Lara singled in the 4-run Puff Caps second inning. And he takes a pitch for a call, strike 1. Oh, and 1 to the number 9 hitter for the Puff Caps, Alejandro Lara. Lara swings and grounds it into the hole between third and short and into left field for a 1-out single, his second base hit of the afternoon. And now we do go to the top of the order, a guy who's been a problem for the Crabs today. That's Manny Acosta. Been at bat twice. He has homered and hit a sacrifice fly. So a pair of runs batted in. Left-handed hitter comes up with his teammate Lara at first base and 1 down. Fanenstein at the set and the pitch. Ground ball down to the third baseman. He picks it up, bobbles, throws to second in time for 1. The relay to first is not going to be in time. So a fielder's choice. Acosta safe at first base. Lara cut down at second. Good play by Ryan Reynolds. Perhaps if he had fielded it absolutely cleanly, they may have had a chance at the double play, but I rather doubt it. Acosta, a fast runner, stands now at first base, and that'll bring up Javier Valdez Jr., 0 for 1. He's also been hit by a pitch. The pitch to him, curveball taken just a bit outside, 1-0. Acosta with some speed at first base, held on there by Johnson. In a 2-out situation, this is a possibility for a steal. He edges off a little further. Fanenstein at the set. The pitch. Runner doesn't go. Throw back to first base, and the runner back safely. A ball and a strike to Valdez Jr. 2 down with Acosta on at first base. Fanenstein looks to Thurber for the sign. Kicks and deals. In the dirt, a good block by Thurber. No advance, and the count is 2-1 on Valdez Jr. Two and 1 to count to Valdez Jr. And the pitch. Fouled at the plate. The count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Valdez is a junior, and they have another player on their team, Free the second. So if you're the second, that's the same as a junior, isn't it? You have the same name as your father.
No, it not necessarily. It could be second in the family lineage, not necessarily.
That pitch is low and outside, and down to second base is Acosta. We'll give him a stolen base on that pitch.
Junior's only for the son. Second could be the grandson.
Oh, okay, so I'm corrected. Kevin tells me that a second could be not necessarily his father, but he could be the same name as his grandfather or great-grandfather. All right, 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to the shortstop. Hamilton's got it deep in the hole. Good throw across the diamond. In time for the out. Nice play by Johnson to stretch and gather it in. So the Puff Caps are denied in the 4th inning No runs. There was one hit, no errors, one left, and at the end of 3.5, the score remains PUF Caps 5 and the Crabs nothing. You're listening to Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480, Arcadia Eureka. All right, welcome back to the ballpark. Bottom of the 4th inning, it'll be Michael Perry, Ryan Reynolds, and Jacob Thurber to face the right-hander, Ryan Zephyrjohn. Perry singled in his only at bat today, and he takes the first pitch, a curveball for a called strike one. Perry comes into this game second on the team in batting average behind James Outman. Right-hander versus right-hander, and the 1-0 offering is fouled at the plate. Strike two. Oh, and 2 to Perry. Zephyrjohn's next offering is a curveball that's grounded down to the third baseman on one hop. He's got it, throw across the diamond, and Perry is retired, grounding out to his counterpart, Lara. One away, and that will bring up Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds, 4 runs batted in last night's ball game, and he started off today with a single in what looked to be a Crabs uprising in the second base as they had in the second inning, as they had the bases loaded with nobody out, but ended up being unable to score. The first pitch to him is low, 1-0. That pitch is hit hard to right field. The right fielder coming in on it, and the second baseman who goes out in a short right field to gather it in for the second out. 2 down. And that'll bring up Thurber. Thurber walked to load the bases in the second inning. And then a couple of ground balls right back to the pitcher, and before you could say Jackie Robinson, the Crabs' rally had been snuffed. 2 down here, nobody on base. And the pitch to Thurber. Jacob swings and misses, strike one. The 0-1 pitch. Misses wide, a ball and a strike. The 1-1 pitch, inside fastball, 2-1. The Crabs have been the kind of team this season that can score in bunches. They've had a lot of big innings. They need some this afternoon. Fastball just misses outside. 3-1 now to Thurber. They're in a hole. 5 runs in the first 2 innings by the PUF Caps, trying to win the rubber game of this 3-game set. Swing and a miss by Thurber on what was probably ball 4. That looked to be outside. The count is full now to Jacob. Three-two pitch. High pop-up into shallow left field near the foul line. In foul territory, the left fielder comes over and Eden makes the catch for the third out. So the Crabs go quickly in the fourth inning, nothing across, and at the end of 4, it remains Puff Caps 5, Crabs nothing. You listen to Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480, Arcadia Eureka. New pitcher in the ball game for the Humboldt Crabs. It'll be Justin Watland picking up for Reed Fanenstein. Fanenstein goes 4 innings, gives up 5 runs. All of them were earned. Watland comes into this ball game with a record of 2 wins and no losses and an earned run average of 4.19. He's given up only 16 hits in 19 1/3 innings. He has struck out, let me see, he struck out 14 batters and walked 7. And he'll face the heart of the order for the Puff Caps, the number 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Nicholas Quintana, Andrew Dushbach, and Cameron Eden. So Watland in for Fanenstein. And here is Quintana, 1 for 2 on the afternoon, a single in 2 trips. And the first pitch to him is taken for a called strike 1. Right-hander versus right-hander. Watland's next pitch is laced into left field for a base hit. A sharp grounder between short and third. The leadoff batter aboard for the Puff Caps in the 5th inning, and that'll bring up Andrew Dushbach. Dushbach, the hitting hero in the opening game of this series with 4 base knocks, has not had a hit since. And he was twice a strikeout victim of Reed Fanenstein. Right-handed hitter. Quintana leads at first. The pitch to Dushbach is swung on and popped into shallow right field. Second baseman coming over in foul territory. It's Pozos making a nice running catch. 1 down. So Dushbach, first pitch swinging, fouls out to a hustling Brian Pozos in foul territory. 1 away, and that'll bring up Cameron Eden. Eden did have some success against Fanenstein, a couple of singles. He stole a base and scored a run. His single got things started for the Puff Caps in their 4-run second inning. Quintana leads from first. Watland's pitch, low, it bounces away from Thurber, but not nearly far enough for any advance. The count is ball 1 to Cameron Eden. Quintana held on at first base by Newt Johnson. This team is not afraid to run. Watland at the set and the pitch. Breaking ball and a good one inside corner for a called strike. 1-1. Watland gets his sign from Thurber. Comes to the rest and the pitch. Low and outside with a fastball. 2-1. Two balls and a strike to Eden. Justin Watland comes to the rest. The 2-1 pitch. Ooh, it hits him. It plunks Cameron Eden. So he'll trot down to first base. Quintana at second. And here is Maverick Handley. Handley is single in 2 trips. So the PUF Caps, seeking to extend their 5-0 lead, are threatening here in the top of the 5th inning. A couple of runners aboard with only 1 down. Watland's pitch to Handley is a curveball that stays way up. 1-0. To Handley. Watland's ready. A look back at second, and he comes home 1-0. Fouled straight back, and the count even at a ball and a strike. Breeze picking up a slight bit. So we approach the 2 o'clock hour. Watland's 2-1 pitch. Fly ball into shallow right field. Center fielder and right fielder coming on, and it's going to be the right fielder, Newman, who makes the catch for the second out. Bush in center this afternoon. I'm used to Logan being in right. 2 down, and that'll bring up Dominic Fletcher. Fletcher has singled and scored and grounded out second to first. Left-handed hitter, as Watland tries to work out of a little jam here in the 5th inning. 2-on-2 gone now. Left-handed hitting Fletcher does have speed. And the pitch to him. Ground ball to the first baseman. He's got it, and he'll go to the bag himself, will Newt Johnson, for the 3rd out. So the PUF Caps threaten but don't score. No runs, a hit, no errors, 2 left. And at halfway through the ball game, it's the PUF Cats 5 and the Crabs nothing. You're listening to Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480, Arcadia Eureka. How come we didn't get in? Patty Stokam, Remax Realty, Crab sponsor and supporter for more than 20 years. Patty's been selling real estate for just as long. She'll handle all the legwork for you and cover all the bases. You can give Patty a call at 496-3295 or find her on Myrtle Avenue in Eureka. That's Patty Stokam with Remax Realty. Newt Johnson to lead it off for the Crabs in the home half of the 5th inning. Like to get something started against the very tough Ryan Zefferjohn, who has pitched 4 shutout innings and allowed the Crabs but 3 base hits. The first pitch to Johnson is hammered into right center field, and it is going to be off the wall. No, it's caught out there by the right fielder. I'm having trouble picking up the ball this afternoon. I apologize for that. So it is the right fielder, Acosta, who gathers in Johnson's blast. One down, and that'll bring up Logan Bush. Bush grounded out a pitcher to first to end that abortive Crab rally in the second inning. That pitch is fouled back onto the screen, and the count, no balls and a strike. Hey, look who's back. My broadcasting buddy Benjamin just had a week in the Bahamas. Nice to see you back here, buddy. 0-1 the count to Bush. And the pitch is grounded foul outside the first base line, and the count now 0-2.
Actually kind of chilly out there on the deck with the wind blowing through. Even though it's sunny, it's chilly out there.
It's supposed to be the hottest part of the day right now, 68 degrees at 2 o'clock in Arcata. That's what the weather
It's not that warm out there right now.
The 0-2, way outside. That one got away from him, and the count of ball and 2 strikes. Zephyr John's only tough inning was the second, when he loaded the bases with nobody out and promptly got out of it. The 1-2 pitch, ground ball hit down to the second baseman. Fielded there by Quintana, the throw to first, and quickly 2 gone in the Crabs' 5th inning. We go to the top of the order, and David Hamilton. Hamilton is twice grounded out second to first.
It's almost as if the Crabs, if they don't get all their runs in one inning, they don't do it in that one inning where they had the bases loaded, nobody out, hitting the double play. It's as if that was their one shot this game, and they've been quiet otherwise.
There's other innings left now.
We'll see.
There's time for a big rally yet.
They've been quiet otherwise, though.
They sure have. And Zephyr John's first pitch is a fastball that misses outside, 1-0. The next pitch also outside, 2 balls and no strikes. And same spot, 3 straight pitches outside. Ball 4. So on 4 consecutive balls, Hamilton trots down to first base. That's only the second walk given up in the ball game by Zephyr John. He has also plunked a batter. That'll bring up Brian Pozos. Brian, a single in 2 trips. First, we got a visit to the mound from the manager of the PUF Caps. There is a right-hander throwing in the bullpen. The entire infield comes in. They always do. Benjamin talks about the rituals on this club. When the manager comes out to talk to the pitcher, the entire infield converges, and that's it. The manager talks to the pitcher and or catcher and says that's enough, and he's going to go to the bullpen. So that's all for Zephyr John. He goes 4 2/3 innings. Geez, just not enough for the win, though. You got to go 5 to pick up the victory. So he goes out 1 out short, and we got a reliever coming in, and we'll get a name for that gentleman when we can. While we're waiting, let's hear about Eureka Rubber Stamp. I know the folks want to hear about Eureka Rubber Stamp.
Well, they've been in business since 1954, and they're locally owned and operated, and they're manufacturing rubber stamps, engravings, vinyl signs, lanyards, novelty item stencils, and more. New Memorial Rocks are now in stock. They're at 520 F Street in Eureka, and their business hours are Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5:30. Number 27. Nierenberg, Nierenberg.
What's his name?
Nierenberg, I believe. We have a roster?
No, I
Leo Nierenberg? Leo Nierenberg.
All right.
So?
Nierenberg.
Oh, there he is, yeah. It was
Can we get one of our rosters back so we can get some information on this?
He will attend the University of Washington. He's 6 feet, 170 pounds.
All right.
And it's going to be a trial for him. Hamilton at first.
What's that? What's that?
I said it's going to be a trial for him.
A trial.
For Nierenberg.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, my goodness gracious. I have no comeback for that. Nuremberg trial. All right. Even if I could come back with something witty, I'm not touching Nuremberg trials with a joke. No way. He will be facing Brian Pozos. There are 2 Crabs out already this inning. Hamilton with a 2-out walk, and then the pitcher, Zephyr-John, got pulled. So Nuremberg comes in with 2 gone in the 5th inning. And Brian Pozos coming to the bat. Reminder, this is the final game of the season. The final game of the season for the PUF Caps, so they would obviously love to go out with a win. They have 24 wins and 14 losses. The Crabs come in at 28 and 14.
I'm impressed by their catcher so far today as well. He's thrown 2 balls down the second on stolen bases.
He's hit by a pitch, hit high on the shoulders. So the first pitch from Nuremberg hits Pozos up around the shoulders, and he will trot to first base. So the Crabs, maybe a little 2-out rally here, a walk and a hit batter, and now we come to James Outman, and the PUF Caps haven't been able to get James out thus far in the ball game. He was hit by a pitch earlier, and then he singled, so 1 for 1 on the afternoon.
They have a left-hander warming in the bullpen. And as we know, the manager's definitely not afraid to.
No, he brings the hook.
To bring him in.
The pitch to Outman is hit hard to left field. It's going to be foul. Made it all the way to the wall, but about 10 feet foul, maybe a little more. That was slicing away from the line, and by the time it finally landed, was well foul. So the runners retreat to their bases. It's just a long foul ball, and the count 0-1 to James Outman. This is the biggest Crab opportunity since that second inning. After 2 are outs, a couple of gifts, a walk and a hit batter. The pitch to Outman. Swings through a fastball, 0-2. So Nuremberg ahead on the count, no balls and 2 strikes, trying to snuff out another potential Crabs rally. Looks into Hadley for his sign, taking quite a bit of time. Now he comes to the set. A look back at second, the 0-2 pitch. High and outside with a fastball, 1-2. One and two to the leading Crabs hitter, James Outman. Right-handed pitcher, left-handed batter. The 1-2 offering. Misses wide with a breaking ball, 2-2. Hamilton and Pozos both with decent speed. Nuremberg set. The 2-2. Fly ball down the left field line, and it is foul again. Hit well. Did that make it out of here?
It bounced right off the top of the fence.
I am having more trouble today picking up the ball than I'm used to having. I could tell it was foul, but I did not see it hit the top of the
Fairly bright
fence.
today. It's a little bit hard to see.
Yeah.
The track of the ball, especially down the left field line for your point of view.
The count, 2 balls and 2 strikes to James Outman. Nuremberg at the rest. Comes home 2-2. In the dirt, it gets past the catcher, bounces to the screen. Crab runners advance 90 feet each. Now the runners are at second and third with 2 outs. The count 3-2.
Well, this is a big spot here because if they can just get a couple runs to get back in it, they still have plenty of time.
Yeah. Big pitch in the ball game, a full count offering to James Outman. Crab runners at second and third with 2 outs here in the 5th. Nuremberg set. The pitch. Line drive up the middle into center field for a base hit. Here comes 1 run. Here comes the second run. It's a 5-2 ball game. A big 2-out hit by James Outman to plate Hamilton and Pozos, and the Crabs are back in it big time.
Second base hit of the game. That now gives him, I think, 32 RBIs on the season. 34 RBIs on the season now for James Outman.
Outman has 2 of the 5 Crabs base hits on the afternoon. Here's cleanup hitter Jason Newman. Right-hander versus right-hander. The pitch to Newman is a curveball taken for a called strike 1. That run is charged, one of the 2 runs, is charged to Zephyr John, the other to Nuremberg. The pitch to Newman is a curveball taken high, 1-1. So we got ourselves a 5-2 ball game now. Big 2-out base hit by Outman. Boy, that was clutch. Nuremberg at the set. The 1-1 pitch fouled off to the right out of play.
That one hit the light standard and bounced back into the park.
Got to keep aware out there.
You have to pay attention.
1-2 now to the Crabs cleanup hitter, Jason Newman. Outman leads from first. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball is off the glove of the pitcher to the shortstop. He's up with it. The throw to first is wild. It gets by the first baseman. Outman is going to move over to third. Staying at first is Newman. And we'll see how that's scored. The Crabs end
Single
up
error on a shortstop.
All right, a single for Newman.
Busted bat. The bat just splintered, and the bat went as far as the ball. It glanced off the pitcher's, the ball glanced off the pitcher's glove and out towards short, and really no reason for the shortstop, Valdez Jr., to try to get the out at first. He wasn't going to get it. And we see that a lot here. Instead of just eating it, they try to make a spectacular play, and it cost them.
That unnecessary throw puts runners at the corner with 2 down. All of this has happened after 2 were outs. This inning started very innocently. A fly ball to right, a grounder to second, and then suddenly a walk, a hit batter, and consecutive singles. And it's a 5-2 ball game, and the manager's coming to the mound. And that
Nuremberg.
looks like Nuremberg, as Benjamin would say, has not passed his trial.
They are going to bring in the left-hander.
It looks like he's going to be bringing somebody in, but I haven't seen him make the motion to the pen. The reliever.
I thought that because the reliever started to walk in, and he still is here. He's sort of, here he
now
comes.
Finally the move is made. So they're going to bring in a left-hander to replace Nuremberg, and we'll get a name on that gentleman soon. While we're doing that, let me thank the Alibi. Now with 2 locations open on the Arcata Plaza to serve you. Home of the best Bloody Marys in town, large breakfast menu and weekend special. Crabs Board member approved. Pub food, local microbrews, chicken wings, live music, and our breakfast menu is even better. When the Crabs play, beers are $1 off. That's the Alibi on the plaza.
Last name? Number 7, Manning.
And the Lost Coast Brewery. Take a brewery tour at our new Lost Coast Brewery. $27 million facility. It's huge. Your tour guide will take you through the process of brewing beer, from the grinding of the grain to the fermenting and to the bottling. Afterwards, taste the beer. Check out the Lost Coast Brewery gear shop, where you'll find t-shirts, sweatshirts, and all kinds of goodies. Kids are welcome. The tour schedule Friday through Sunday, 12, 1, 2, 3, and 4 p.m. That's at 1600 Sunset in Eureka, the Lost Coast Brewery.
The new pitcher is number 7, Austin Manning, who will be attending USC in the fall. Left-hander. First and third, 2 outs for the Crabs. Chance to pull within 2 here, or even more than that.
When I grew up as a kid, there were 2 teams I was taught to hate. the Yankees and USC.
Really?
In fact, I had a friend who has a bumper sticker that says, my favorite team is UCLA. My second favorite team is whoever plays SC this weekend.
That's good.
That
I didn't know there was such a rivalry.
Oh, my goodness. USC, UCLA is a huge rivalry in Southern California. For many years, it was SC football and UCLA basketball. Of course, under the great John Wooden, UCLA won 10 championships. And SC had the fabulous years of football with a host of running backs that became Heisman Trophy winners. All right, here's Michael Perry. Runners at the corners. Perry represents the potential tying run here as the Crabs have plated 2 in the 5th inning, and they have runners at first and third.
Well, just the guy you like to see up there, too, because Perry leads the Crabs in home runs with 6.
Austin Manning on the mound.
Number 7 would be perfect at this moment.
From the set, the pitch. Outside with a fastball, 1-0. Perry 1 for 2 on the afternoon, and he's been hotter than a firecracker in July. And since this is the last day of July, I'd like to have one more big explosion here. Fastball right down the heart of the plate. It's 1-1. I guess Perry thought it was a little bit low. He has a word with home plate umpire Michael Cowan. 1-1 the count to Perry. Manning at the belt. The pitch. Perry swings and grounds it down to the second baseman. He'll go to the bag himself for the force out on Newman, and that will end the inning. For the Crabs, however, a pair of runs on 2 hits. There was 1 error and 2 left on base. And at the end of 5 complete, it's the PUF Caps 5 and the Crabs 2. You listen to Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480, Arcadia, Eureka.
All right, welcome back to the ballpark. We have a pinch hitter for Davis. It's James Free II, who we've seen every game of the series.
And the first pitch to the left-handed hitter is a called strike 1 on the outside corner. Free will be followed by Alejandro Lara, and then the top of the order, and Matthew Acosta against the right-hander Justin Watland, picking up for Reed Fanenstein. That's a curveball and a good one on the outside corner. It's 1-2. Check it 0-2. Big right-hander rocks into the windup, and the 1-2 pitch, fastball, stays up, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, got him. The ball is dropped, so the out will have to be recorded first base, and it is.
I think that's actually lamer than the way.
One down, and that will bring up Alejandro Lara. Lara, a couple of base hits in 2 trips. He also scored a run in the 4-run PUF Caps second inning. Lara now getting his first look at James Watland. Right-hander versus right-hander. Watland rocks into the windup and the pitch. Breaking ball stays up 1-0. A lot of sun hats in the ballpark today. Al Sol has graced us with his presence. The next pitch high with a fastball. It's 2-0 now to Lara. The 2-0 pitch. Ground ball right back to Watland. He's got it. A soft toss to first base. Very quickly. 2 down in the PUF Caps 6th inning, and we go to the top of the order and Matthew Acosta. Acosta, a home run in 2 official trips. He also hit a sacrifice fly. Left-handed hitting right fielder and leadoff batter for the PUF Caps all 3 games. That pitch bounces in the dirt. It's ball 1. New ball put in play by home plate umpire Michael Cowan. I don't know if we ever gave you the umpires that Justin Eastless has been doing yeoman work at first base, and John Swanson has been at third. The next pitch is grounded past the pitcher into center field for a base hit. Watland reached down to try and glove it, but it was by him. So a 2-out single for Acosta, and now we go to Javier Valdez Jr. 0 for 2. He has also been hit by a pitch. So you can't say he's been hitless, even though he's 0 for 2. From the stretch, the pitch. Ooh, almost hit him.
He may have gotten hit again.
He did.
Yes, he
just nipped him. I think it got more uniform than body.
It hit him, though, for sure. I heard it hit him.
So Valdez hit by a pitch. And the PUF Caps are trying to duplicate what the Crabs did in the previous half inning. After 2 are out, they've now got 2 runners aboard. And Nicholas Quintana, the hard-hitting second baseman who's 2 for 3 on the afternoon, coming to the bat.
Well, we need a shutdown inning here, so it's very important that they not score.
Important to get this guy. Right-hander versus right-hander. Watland looks back at second and comes home. And the pitch is swung on and hit in the air to center field. It should be playable. Left fielder and center fielder. It is the center fielder, Bush, who gathers it in for the 3rd out. So the PUF Caps threaten but don't score. No runs, a hit. No errors, 1 left. And at the end of 5.5, it's still the PUF Caps 5 and the Crabs 2. You listen to Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480, Arcadia, Eureka.
Welcome back to the ballpark. Thanks to Harper Ford. Harper Motors is proud to be one of America's oldest automobile dealerships and established in 1912. They're a true family business that's been serving the Humboldt North Coast for over 100 years. With every Crabs home run, Harper Ford will donate $50 to local District 26 Little League. So go Crabs, go.
So they've donated more than $1,500 this season.
Yes, they have.
That's great. Here's Ryan Reynolds, designated hitter, hitting from the right side. And the pitch to him is taken for a called strike one. Reynolds 1 for 2 on the afternoon. We mentioned earlier that one of the things we don't do here at this level that is done in professional baseball is no scouting of the opponents coming into the ballpark, or them of us. And I think we saw that last night. At one point, Ryan Reynolds, the manager of the opposing team, thinking Reynolds was a left-handed hitter because he'd been hitting left-handed against right-handed pitching, brought in a left-hander. Reynolds just simply turned around as a switch hitter and hit from the right side. Pitch misses, 2-1. Do you think that's right, or do you think I'm just making that up? Or were you listening at all? I don't know.
What?
Who? What? Baseball? What?
I was listening. It's hard to know if he just took him out because he was trying to play the percentages, or if
Well, but what
he
I was
just
saying
decided
is
he was done.
Yeah. Oh, that could have been, but he would only been in for like 1 or 2 batters.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't know. 3
But
balls
he has no
and a strike.
problem. We've seen no problem just taking a guy out after 1 or 2 batters.
Right.
So yeah, you're probably right though.
3-1 to count to Reynolds, leading off for the Crabs here in the bottom of the 6th. The next pitch is fastball inside, ball 4, and Reynolds, the leadoff batter, is aboard. Crabs trying to rebound from a 5-0 deficit that was accumulated in the first 2 innings. They picked up 2 in the last inning. It's now a 5-2 ball game, and that'll bring up Jacob Thurber. Reynolds held on at first base by Daschbach. The pitch to the plate, Thurber takes the fastball for a called strike one just above the belt, 0-1.
Reynolds has a stolen base this season.
Manning comes to the plate. Thurber takes a called strike 2. Outside corner, he's painting the black against the left-handed hitting Thurber. Manning at the set. The 0-2 pitch. Just missed the outside corner with that one, 1-2. Manning at the rest. The 1-2. Got him swinging. Took something off of that, and Thurber well out in front. That'll bring up Newt Johnson. Johnson 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Big right-handed hitter. Manning at the set. The pitch to Johnson. Ground ball, he breaks his bat. The shortstop can't get it. It's into left field for a base hit. So a broken bat single. And the Crabs now have the tying running runner coming to the plate. Logan Bush representing the potential tying run here in the bottom of the 6th. Runners at first and second, 1 out. Logan has been kept in the infield in his previous 2 at-bats, grounded out pitcher to first and second baseman to first. Left-hander versus left-hander. Bush, the number 9 hitter in the order, and the pitch to Logan is taken for a ball, 1-0. Manning at the belt. A look back at second base. The pitch to Bush. Tries to check his swing, but he goes around. It's 1-1. Manning's ready, and he comes home 1-1. Just misses outside. 2 balls and a strike. No activity at present in the PUF Caps bullpen. Ditto the Crabs. The 2-1 to Bush. Misses outside. 3 balls and a strike. So a hitter's count now for Logan Bush. A ball here will load the bases. Manning is set. The 3-1 pitch. Line foul, well out of play, well foul, and the count is full. Had a lot of big pitches in this ball game.
Another one here.
And we got another one
Important
here.
at bat here.
3-2 to Bush. Crab runners take their leads. They're not going. The payoff pitch is high, ball 4. Bush trots down to first base. The other Crab base runners move up 90 feet. The bases are FOC, full of crustaceans for David Hamilton.
Now there's a pitcher heading down to the bullpen to warm up.
So Manning has walked a couple of batters in this inning, given up 1 base hit. The bases are loaded with 1 out. The pitch to Hamilton is fouled back, strike 1. Crabs with runners on every base. The infield for the Puff Caps, the corner men are about even with the bag. Middle infielders looking for 2. Manning is set. The 0-1 to Hamilton. Swings and grounds it down to the third baseman. He's going to come home for the force. They got it. That's all they'll get. So a good play, a heads-up play. Lara knew what he was supposed to do with it. He got the ball and fired home to prevent the run from coming in, cutting down Reynolds. Johnson and Bush move up 90 feet. Hamilton safe on the fielder's choice at first base. There are 2 down, and it's up to Brian Pozos. So the bases are still loaded. There are now 2 outs. And now a right-handed hitter, Pozos, coming in to face the left-hander Manning. Pozos 1 for 2 on the afternoon. He was also hit by a pitch and scored one of the 2 runs the Crabs plated in the 5th. The pitch to Pozos. Inside, does it all hit him? Does it hit him? No. And the question was, did Pozos go around? And the first base umpire said, no, I didn't think he did at all. It's 1 ball to Pozos. I thought he might have been hit by that pitch. 1-0 to Pozos. Crab runners take their leads from first, second, and third. 2 down. Manning at the set, working from the stretch. The pitch, swing and a miss. Big cut by Pozos. It's 1-1. Manning choosing to work from the stretch with the bases jammed. Crabs, bases loaded opportunity here. Manning at the set. Here's the pitch. In there for a called strike 2. That was a good pitch. He took something off it, and Pozos was definitely not expecting that. Watched it go by, and home plate umpire Cowan called it strike 2. So Manning ahead on the count, 1-2 now to Pozos. Crab's second baseman now asks for time. Looks like he got a little something in his eye, so he steps out of the batter's box to attend to that. Now he steps back into the box, and we're ready to go. 1-2 to Pozos. Manning at the set. The 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging. An off-speed curveball, and Pozos down on strikes. A big strikeout for Manning, and the Crabs come up empty in the 6th inning. No runs. There was 1 hit, no errors, and 3 men left on base. And at the end of 6, the score remains the Puff Caps 5 and the Crabs 2. You're listening to Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480, Arcata, Eureka. Crabs would like to thank Mad River Brewing Company, proud to support the Humboldt Crabs. Steelhead Extra Pale Ale is always on tap, so grab one at the ballpark during the game or join us in sunny Blue Lake for a beer and fish and chips or a burger in the beer garden. We're open every day. That's the Mad River Brewing Company. Going in now to the top of the 7th inning for all the action. Here he is, the Professor, Benjamin Schaefer.
All right, it'll be Doshbach, Eden, and Handley for the Capitalists. Here's the pitch. Fouled up against the screen. It's 0-1. Great. 0-1 the count. Doshbach today. 0 for 3. Struck out twice. Popped out to second. Fouled out to second, as a matter of fact. There's a slider down and away. It's 1-1. 5 runs, 10 hits. 1 error for the Capitalists. 2 runs, 7 hits. No errors for the Crabs, who have had the bases loaded twice without scoring a run. Here's the 1-1. Popped high in the air down the right field line. Johnson giving chase, and he doesn't get it. So the count will be a ball and 2 strikes. We're in the 7th inning, and the Capitalists are up 5-2. Just the kind of ball game we expected to see this afternoon. Close contest. They got a run in the first and 4 in the second. Crabs got 2 in the bottom of the 5th. 1-2 the count. Watland winds and comes home with a fastball that misses high. 2-2. The 2-2 slider misses down and away, and the count goes full. And the pitch. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Well, Doshbach didn't think much of the call. He has some words for home plate umpire Michael Cowan, but he will head back to the bench. Here's Eden, the left fielder. Eden 2 for 2. He's also hit by a pitch, so the Crabs have not gotten him out yet today. And the pitch from Watland is high in the air and foul, and it's going to drift out of play. A rather brisk breeze blowing out towards left field, as is normally the case on Sunday afternoons here. Here's the 0-1. Breaking pitch misses inside. The 1-1, swing and a miss. And the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. One and 2. Watland comes home with a fastball that's line over. Second baseman Pozo's headed into right field for a base hit. 11th hit of the game for the Capitalists, and that's Eden's 3rd hit today. So it's been a paradise for him. Eden paradise.
Doing it in our garden, too. That's what gets me.
Yeah. Oh, my God. We should take this on the road. We really should.
Yeah, we should be on the stage, the next one out of California.
Here's Handley, and he hits one high in the air to left field indeed. Going back is Outman, and that is going to be gone. A 2-run home run. Oh, well. 7-2 Capitalists, so they get the 2 runs back.
I don't say this as a homer, but simply as an observation. I think that was one ball that was wind-aided.
I believe it was, too. He got
That-
it up in the breeze,
yeah,
and
that
it
was
just
a-
kept drifting.
Yeah, that was a
Yep.
fly ball that just kept drifting.
So 7-2 now in favor of the Capitalists. Now
That's a big hit.
Yeah, it is.
You know, that's a big
that
hit.
puts the distance right back between them. Now some action out in the Crabs bullpen. Here's Fletcher. He's 1 for 3. And the pitch in there for a called strike on the outside corner.
We mentioned at the outset
The 0-1 is fouled up against the screen.
that the PUF Caps are a team with, good players, a lot of potential, and they got some pride. And they don't want to end their season like they lost last night's game, getting blown out
No, they
9-0. Doesn't mean they were going to win today, but it meant they were going to put it all on the field, and
Absolutely.
they certainly have.
Well, and they had a chance to win the series, too. So there's a called swing and a miss for strike 3. They throw down the first to complete the play. But the Capitalists,
It's 2
oh,
outs.
that's 2 outs.
Only 2 outs. What's the
So here's Free, the DH. He came in as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning, grounded back to the pitcher.
I mean, the 5 errors were what? The reason they lost.
No, he struck out, didn't he? I got him striking out. Laura then grounded out.
Oh,
to
you're right.
first.
No, I have. Oh, you're right. He struck
Okay.
out.
'Cause he's done. Yeah.
And here's the pitch. Fastball misses away.
I'm inclined to agree with that too.
The 1-0 fouled out of play. 7-2 now in favor of the Capitalists.
Bud Norris got hurt.
1-1 the count to Free. Misses down low. 2-1.
Let's keep it here after this half inning so we can enjoy Take Me Out to the Ball Game with the Crabgrass Band, the best staff in all of baseball.
2-1 is grounded out to second base. Pozos backhands. Throws to first in time for out number 3. 2 runs, 2 hits. There were no errors and nobody left. And at the end of 6.5, it's 7-2 in favor of the Capitalists. This is
And-
Crabs baseball. Oh, we're not going.
No, we're not
We're
gonna go.
staying
We're
here
gonna-
for the 7th inning stretch.
Yeah, the band is slowly making its way down to where they will accompany the ballpark staff and allow the Crab fans to sing out our number 1 song with a bullet, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Crabs trailing now by 5 runs again by a 7-2 count. So bottom of this inning, we got the heart of the order coming up, and we're
Yeah.
trying to encourage them with a tuneful Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Here it is.
Yeah, all right, there it is.
That sounded right purty.
Sure did. You know who we need?
Who do we need?
We need Krusty.
Where
We've not
is
seen
Krusty
Krusty
the
in
Crab?
days. We've not seen Krusty in days.
Now's the time. Now's the
We
time
need
for
Krusty
to-
Mojo here at the
Give us-
ballpark with the
yeah.
Crabs trailing 7-2. It's going to be Outman, Newman, and Perry. Outman is 2 for 2. He was hit by a pitch, singled twice, and has 2 RBIs. Here's the pitch, and there's a breaking pitch that misses just inside, 1-0. You haven't seen Krusty this whole series.
Hope he's not hurt.
I hope so, too.
Go on the DL with a hurt claw.
1-0 the count. And there's a check swing, and it's did not go around. He may be molting. That may be it.
It could be. Could be.
2-0 the count, you know.
It's always embarrassing.
2-0. Misses inside, 3-0. Austin Manning out on the mound for the PUF Capitalists. 3-0 to Outman. And he fouls out. He's swinging 3-0. He fouls it off the screen. The 3-1. Tapper down to second base. And he throws it wide, and Outman safe at first on the air. Wow. Quintana had forever. Plenty of time to set and just threw it away.
In tennis, we'd call that an unforced
Yeah,
error.
absolutely. He just sidearmed that right past the first baseman. So Krabs get a break there. Outman aboard. And here's Newman. Newman's 1 for 3.
Number 6, Jason Newman.
Newman could get those 2 runs back real quick. Get him a ball up in the breeze to left field. Certainly got the power.
Yep, problem is they need 5. Here's the pitch. Fastball down and away.
It's rare to see a 5-run home run. I don't think we've seen one all season.
I think I've seen one, yeah. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Foul tipped. 1-1. Outman over at first. Krabs trailing 7-2. Manning sets and comes home with a breaking pitch that misses high. 2-1. One hopper past second base and into right field for a base hit. They're going to hold Outman at second. The Krabs got something going here with nobody out in the bottom of the 7th. That'll bring Michael Perry to the bat. Perry 1 for 3.
Now batting number 22, Michael Perry.
And the catcher goes to the mound. That probably means we're going to have somebody about to start throwing in the bullpen, but I don't see it happening yet.
I don't either. Now the whole infield's coming in.
We got a shout out to Fatty Matty. Quit leaving the toilet seat up. I fell in this morning. Love your adoring girlfriend. Matty.
Okay, Outman at second, Newman at first. Here's Perry.
That's picking a fight just to have a positive ending. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. So, hey, I'm going to have fun tonight.
Here's the pitch. Fastball misses high. One another count. And the pitch misses down and in, 2-0. Krabs could definitely use another base runner.
I'd like to see Perry park one. Right here, this 2-0 pitch.
I want to see him walk and then somebody else walk and then a park one. 2-0. Tapper back past the mound. The second baseman has it. He steps on the bag for one, throws to second for 2. And once again, the Krabs squander an opportunity for the big inning.
Well, a double play has been the bugaboo, hasn't it?
Absolutely, yep. Yep.
So we end up with Outman at third base, but now there are 2 down.
And here's Reynolds with 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. Here's the pitch. Ooh, check swing on a fastball down and in. Did he go round? Yes, indeed, says the first base umpire. Well, you got to hand it to the PUF Caps pitchers. They've been able to induce the ground ball when they've needed it.
They have indeed.
Little tap hits.
Yep.
Oh and 1. And the next pitch is a check swing, and it's in the dirt. 1 and 1.
One of the hardest things for me to fathom in terms of baseball skill is the ability to switch hit.
Yeah,
I mean, most of us can't even imagine hitting that way from both sides of the plate.
The 1-1 foul tipped, and it's 1 and 2. The 1-2 breaking pitch is hit slowly out to second. Should end the inning. He's got it. Throw to first. Inning over. There were no runs. There was a hit. There was an error and a runner left. And at the end of 7, Crabs trailed by 5. This is Crabs Baseball, 1480 KGOE.
Oh, how many?
All right, welcome back to the ballpark. New pitcher on the mound for the Crabs. It's Kevin Calderhead, who comes in with a record of 1 and 1, an ERA of 4.61, 13 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 10 hits, walked 8 and struck out 9. And last time he pitched was that night. It was Wednesday night. Didn't go so well for the Crabs. He came in and walked the bases loaded, then gave way to Watland, who gave up a game-tying triple. Actually, he didn't walk the base. He walked 2 and hit a batter.
Somebody is getting serenaded. Vicky Rossi having a birthday, the Crabs board president, who will be finishing her 3-year term at the end of this season. Don't know that the Crabs do what they used to do. It used to be that the vice president would then take over as president when the one president's term was up, but I don't know if they've continued that tradition or not. All right, Alexander Lara to lead off in the top of the 8th inning for the PUF Caps. They're enjoying a 7-2 lead in this rubber game of the 3-game series in their final contest of the season. Crabs have one more week to play, and the fastball misses 1-0. Kevin Calderhead, right-handed pitcher, will face Lara, and then we go to the top of the order and Matthew Acosta and Javier Valdez Jr. Right-hander versus right-hander, and the next pitch is swung on and laced past the shortstop and into left field for a leadoff single for Lara. For Lara, that is his 3rd base knock of the afternoon. And that'll bring up Matthew Acosta, and he's had a fine afternoon himself. The left-handed hitting leadoff hitter has singled, hit a sacrifice fly, and hit a game-opening home run. So 2 for 3 officially. Lara at first base, held on over there by Newt Johnson, and the pitch is swung on and missed by Acosta, 0-1.
Okay. All right. Maybe I'll announce this one.
0-1 the count now to Acosta. Calderhead's pitch in the dirt, and it gets away from the catcher. That's a wild pitch. And Lara will trot down to second base. in scoring position now, and the count 1-1 on Acosta, Matthew Acosta. Calderhead at the belt, a look back at second, and the pitch to Acosta is punched in the air on one hop to the shortstop. He's got it, throw to first in time, one down. A little flare that bounced just in front of the shortstop Hamilton. I didn't know if he was going to try and catch it on the fly, but he wisely let it bounce and gunned across for the out. No advance by Lara, so it's a non-productive out. One away, and that'll bring up Valdez Jr. 0 for 2 officially, but he's been hit twice. The pitch to him is hit hard to left field, going back to the warning track, to the wall. It is out of here. A home run by Javier Valdez Jr. Some of the Crabs are screaming that it was foul, but the umpire called it fair.
That was obviously foul. That was foul by like 5 feet.
The crowd doesn't like it.
It was obviously foul. I mean, that wasn't even close. The guys standing in the bullpen are pointing because they saw it too. I mean, that ball drifted way out. I mean, that was over the bullpen and out. That didn't go out in fair territory by any stretch.
So Tyson Fisher comes out and says something to the home plate umpire, and he points to the third base umpire, John Swanson, and Tyson Fisher going to go out and have a word with him. He said that ball was foul. We don't have any replays here, so this is a judgment call. There's no way this is going to be overturned.
And the thing is, I mean, I'm not the only one who thinks that. Almost everybody in the park thought it was foul.
Yeah.
Except the umpire. Really?
Now the third base umpire is going to confer with the home plate umpire, and maybe this is going to be reversed. Boy, you don't see that very often. Let's see. They're talking about it. Fisher waiting to see what the ruling is on the field.
Wow. Really?
It was long enough. It was over the fence.
Definitely long enough, but it was foul.
So the home plate umpire and third base umpire are conferring, and we may see a rare case where this thing is going to be overturned. A long conversation between the home plate umpire Cowan and the third base umpire Swanson, and they're still talking. Two men in blue, today they're in Hawaiian shirts, are talking over what's going to happen. Crowd is screaming foul ball. Listen to them.
Foul ball, foul ball, foul ball, foul ball, foul ball, foul ball. Unbelievable.
What's the call? We're still waiting for the call. Foul ball. It's being ruled a foul ball, and here comes the manager now. The manager for the PUF Caps coming out, and he is steamed at the home plate umpire, and now he's going to go to the third base umpire.
All right, this is getting good now.
Oh, boy, the third base coach is jawing with the third base umpire. The manager is jawing with the home plate umpire, and he's saying, hey, the third base umpire said it's a home run. How can you
except everybody
overrule it?
else in the park saw that it was foul.
And now they're yelling, throw him out. Yelling at the home plate umpire to throw him out. So take away the home run from Valdez. I guess I shouldn't score in ink. I don't remember seeing anything like this happen before.
It was just so obvious. I mean, it was just obviously foul ball. I mean.
So Lara will return to first base. And it'll just be a strike. I have no idea what the count is at this point. The manager arguing with the home plate umpire. The third base coach arguing with the third base umpire. But I don't think it's going to be re-reversed.
That would be definitely first. It was re-reversed.
A re-reversal.
No, we could be here a while if they keep reversing. No. Everybody saw that was foul. The whole park erupted as soon as they called it fair.
So they're going to have a runner.
900
return to
people
first
did not
base.
see that.
The manager is calling the third base coach over. I'm not sure what's going on here. Maybe the third base coach got ejected because there's another gentleman going out to the third base coaching line.
I didn't see an ejection, but he's gone. Maybe
it.
he's just so angry he's walking off on his own.
The manager called him over. He's in the dugout. So there's a new coach at third base. The runners at second base. That's right. He was wild pitch to second. So Lara at second base. And the count, no balls and 1 strike to Valdez Jr. All right. Calderhead at the stretch. The pitch. Way outside. It goes to the backstop. And moving to third base on the wild pitch is Lara. So a single and 2 wild pitches, and Lara now in scoring position. A fly ball will bring him in. The count, a ball and a strike on Valdez Jr. Infield in all the way around. The pitch over the plate for a call. Strike 2. 1-2 now to Valdez Jr. Right-hander versus right-hander. Calderhead working from the stretch with that runner on at third. He's at the belt. The 1-2 pitch. In the dirt, a good block by the catcher, Thurber, and it's 2-2. So Calderhead has had some problems with wildness. As Benjamin said, he came into the ball game Wednesday and walked, 3 batters?
He walked 2 and hit a batter, and then and that was it. He didn't get anybody out.
The count now 2-2 to Valdez Jr. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, fair over the third baseman and down the left field line. Outman over to field it. The runner's going to second base, and he will be in there. The ball was bobbled in left field, so I don't know if that's going to be a double or a single in an air. I think it's a double. It is a double. So credit Quintana with a double, or Valdez Jr. with a double. An RBI as Lara comes in to score, and that'll bring up Quintana with Valdez Jr. at second base and 1 out.
So the reverse call may not matter anyway.
And that's going to bring Tyson Fisher to the mound, and he's
done.
going to the pen. So Calderhead unable to get it done here in the 8th inning. A single and a double, and the PUF Caps have extended their lead now to 8-2. So a lot of brouhaha, a lot of whoop-de-doo about that foul ball that was originally called a home run, but it may be all for naught as the runner from third comes in, and the batter now standing at second base with 1 out, and we got a new pitcher coming into the ball game. While we wait to find out who that is, let us thank some of the people who keep the Crabs on the field and on the air. Patty Stokeham of Remax Realty. You know, Patty's been a Crab sponsor and supporter for more than 20 years, and she's been selling real estate for just as long. Patty will handle all the legwork for you and cover all the bases. You can give her a call today at 496-3295 or find her on Myrtle Avenue in Eureka. That's Patty Stokeham with Remax Realty.
It's Matthew Hernandez coming in relief of Calderhead. Hernandez 1-2 with an ERA of 6.26. 9 appearances, 5 in relief, 23 innings pitched. He's given up 31 hits, walked 7, and struck out 17.
What's the ERA again? Oh,
6.26.
Ooh, my, hi. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Doesn't bear repeating. Well, he comes in to face the heart of the order, Nicholas Quintana and Andrew Doshbach, the 3 and 4 hitters. There's a runner on at second base. There's 1 out, and 1 has already crossed the plate this inning to make it a 8-2 lead. Is that how many hits do they have? I can't say that. 12 or 14? 14 hits. 8 runs on 14 hits and 2 errors for the PUF Caps. The Crabs have 2 runs on 8 hits, and the Crabs have committed no errors. Here's Quintana. Nicholas Quintana, 2 for 4 on the afternoon. Right-handed hitter facing the right-handed Matthew Hernandez. Valdez Jr. leads off at second base. The pitch to Quintana, lined into center field. It's going to be a diving catch. No, he did not catch it. He trapped it. So that'll be a base hit for Quintana. Fine effort by the center fielder Bush. He dove for it, but the ruling was he trapped it. And now the PUF Caps with runners at the corners and one out. And here is Andrew Daschbach. He has been held in check after a great Friday night of 4 for 6. He has been hitless since then, and today he's had the hat trick, 3 strikeouts. Right-hander comes to the plate, and he lines it into right field, just past Pozos for an RBI single. Stopping at second base is Quintana on Daschbach's RBI hit, and it's now a 9-2 ball game. So the big argument, the big rhubarb over the home run turns out to be moot as both those runs come in to score anyhow. 15 hits, that's a lot of hits against Crabs pitching in this ball game. That's one of the biggest hit totals, if not the biggest, this season. First and second.
Yeah, they've pretty much battered the Crabs today.
The pitch is punched into the third baseman, and catching it on the fly is Perry for the second out. Just a little looping fly ball. 2 down, and that'll bring up Maverick Handley. Handley having a big afternoon after being hitless in the first 2 games. He has singled and hit a 2-run home run in this contest. So Maverick is a 2 for 4. Handley 2 for 4 on the afternoon. Right-handed hitter.
Everybody but the guys in the DH spot have gotten a hit for the PUF Caps today.
Wow. All right, runners at first and second, 2 gone. Hernandez from the stretch, a look back at second base, and he comes to the plate. Handley takes a pitch just outside, 1-0. The pitch. Oh, over the head of the right-handed hitter Handley. And the count is 2-0. Quintana at second base. Daschbach at first. And a 2-0 count to Maverick Handley. The pitch. Swings and fouls it at the plate. Hernandez came inside on his hands on that pitch. And the count now 2-1. There are 2 outs. So 2-1 to the right-handed hitting Handley. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball rides inside and high, 3-1. Hernandez, a pitch away from loading him up, looks in for the sign from Thurber. He's at the rest. The 3-1 pitch, fouled off out of play, 3-2. With a full count and 2 down, the runners will be off with the pitch. That added advantage to the offense in this situation. Hernandez, back foot on the rubber, comes to the set. 3-2 pitch. Line drive past the third baseman and into left field. Rounding third and coming in to score. Here's the throw to the plate, but not going to be nearly in time. So Handley, an RBI single. That's his 3rd run driven into the ball game. Quintana comes in to score. Stopping at second base is Daschbach. And that now will bring up Dominic Fletcher, who is 1 for 4 on the afternoon. 10 runs now on 17 hits for the PUF Caps. They have done what few teams have been able to do with Crabs pitching this season, and they've been hitting everybody who's come into the ball game. The pitch to Fletcher, way outside, 1-0. No further activity in either bullpen. Fletcher, the 8th batter to come up here in the 8th inning.
All their hits except one have been singles.
Pitch misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Two and 0 the count to Fletcher. The pitch. Strike called. Fastball just above the belt. It's 2-1. Two and 1 to count. Fouled off to the left and out of play. Two and 2 the count now to Fletcher. Three runs already across here in the 8th inning to make it a 10-2 ball game. The Crabs getting stomped in this deciding game of the 3-game series. The 2-2 to Fletcher. Line drive into left field for a base hit. The runner at third is being held. So a solid single by Fletcher, and the bases are loaded now for the number 9 hitter. And this will be Free the second. What's Free's first name? I'm sorry, Free's first name? James Free. This is the only batting slot in the order, the designated hitter, first Isaiah Davis and now James Free, that have not had a base hit in this ball game. Only the designated hitter.
And they've all been singles except for the home run that Acosta hit.
To start the ball game.
Yep.
There's the pitch. Down low, 1-0.
Got another right-hander warming in the...
No, wait a second. Handley had a home run.
Oh, right.
In the
Okay,
seventh
sorry.
inning.
Right.
Yeah.
And Handley's home run.
1-0 the count now to Free. There's no place to put James Free the second. There's a puff cap on every base.
Another right-hander warming in the pen for the Crabs, so Hernandez may not be long for this game.
The 1-0 pitch. Ooh, does it hit him? It
Yes,
does.
it did.
Oh, my goodness. So Free,
Wow, this is really...
the second is hit by the pitch, and that forces in a run. That'll bring in Doshbach. And Handley and Fletcher each move up 90 feet, so the bases are still loaded.
Wow. The Crabs are about to look at a 10-run rule.
Yeah, we don't have the mercy rule this year, but we're nearing that point. It's 11-2 now, and here is Lara, who started things off with a single. And he came in to score the first of the 3 runs that have been plated already, 4 runs that have been plated already. Here's the pitch to him. Curveball in there for a called strike 1. Right-hander in the Crabs bullpen, but it's the old story of closing the door after the cattle are out or the horses are out or somebody's out. Today it's the Puff Caps. Been hard to get out. 0-1 to count. The pitch. Oh, a breaking ball and a good one on the outside corner. So Hernandez ahead of Lara. No balls and 2 strikes. Lara's been a tough out in this ball game, 3 for 4, as he comes up here in the 8th. They have batted around here in the 8th inning. 0-2. The pitch. High with a fastball, 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes to Alejandro Lara. Bases full of Puff Caps. The 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging. So Lara down on strikes. That'll do it for the Puff Caps. They got 4 runs on. How many hits? 4 runs on 6 hits. And they leave 3 batters. They leave 3 base runners. And at the end of 7.5, the score is the PUF Caps 11. The Crabs 2. You'll listen to Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480 Cardi Utica. All right, welcome back to the ballpark. Oh, it is a tough Sunday. What was that movie called? Sunday?
Black Sunday.
Black Sunday, and then the U2 had a song, Sunday Bloody Sunday, right?
Yeah.
It has been all of that for the Crabs this afternoon, a spanking the likes of which we rarely see at the ballpark.
Yeah, Crabs pitching just getting slapped around today by the. And I mean slapped because all the balls have mostly been slapped singles into the gaps. But
a couple of round trippers as well. All right, here's Thurber to lead it off in the bottom of the 8th, and the fastball is in tight, 1-0. Austin Manning has been outstanding in relief, and I think he will get the win because Zephyr John did not go the necessary 5 for the victory. If they,
it'll be Manning.
Fastball high and outside, 2-0 to Thurber. To Thurber.
It's also going to be one of the longer games of the year just because of all the runs that have been scoring by the PUF Caps.
That
and all
pitch
the changes.
misses. 3-0 now to Thurber. Yeah, I mean, it's, oh my goodness, it's already 3:15, yeah? Long ball game. 3-0 pitch. Inside, ball 4. So on 4 pitches, Thurber trots down to first base with a free pass. Here's Newt Johnson. Newt got a big single in the 6th inning. It looked like the Crabs might do something. They had the bases loaded. It's the second time they had the bases loaded without scoring. The pitch to Johnson is a fastball wide, 1-0, and now the catcher, Handley, going to have to have a word with Austin Manning. There's starting to be some activity in the bullpen, right-hander throwing for the PUF Caps.
Yeah, I mean, with a 11-2 lead, all he's got to do is lay it in there and let the defense do their job.
Well, the Crabs just need a couple of grand slams. And
No reason to be ultra fine here.
No. The pitch to Johnson, high, ball 2.
Looks like he is getting tired, though, maybe.
Manning may be getting tired. Often the sign is that pitches that stay up. And he's missed twice high now to Newt Johnson, 2-0. The 2-0 offering. That's in there for a called strike, and Newt probably had a take there to make sure he can throw strikes. It's 2-1 to Johnson.
Well, a lot of folks split after that last inning.
Line drive, fair down the left field line. Rounding second and heading to third is Thurber. Getting into the bullpen is the left fielder. He picks it up, and it's a stand-up double for Newt Johnson. So the Crabs with runners in second and third now, and nobody out in the bottom of the 8th. Got to keep fighting. Got a pinch hitter here. Who's coming up? Number 10.
T-Lander.
All right. Mason T-Lander hitting for Bush, right-handed hitter, to face the left-hander Manning. And I would guess if T-Lander gets a base hit here, that'll be all for Manning.
I would expect that as well.
Crabs at second and third, no outs, and the first pitch is waved out and missed, strike 1. T-Lander comes into the ball game hitting .222. in only 45 at-bats. He's actually been upping his average significantly. He was down around 180 at one point. And the 0-1 pitch to him. Mason takes a fastball on the outside corner just above the belt, and it's 0-2.
Well, and I always want to point out, too, that he has an excellent .429 on-base percentage because he has 15 walks in 45 at-bats.
Well, he's behind here 0-2. The pitch. Inside, a ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 to Mason Thielander. Thurber at third. Johnson at second. The 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball stays up. 2-2. After Thielander, we go to the top of the order and David Hamilton. The 2-2 pitch just misses outside. That one was close, and Manning wanted it. A long look into home plate umpire Cowan, and the count now full. Manning at the set. And the 3-2. Line drive into left field for a base hit. 1 run is coming in. The holding up at third base will be Johnson. So credit Thielander with an RBI single. Johnson stops at third. The Crabs with runners at the corners and nobody out. It's now an 11-3 ball game. And the manager pointing to the bullpen, and I thought he would be coming out, but I guess not. So he's going to leave the left-hander Manning in to face the left-handed hitting David Hamilton. Nobody out, runners at the corners, Crabs trailing 11-3. Line drive, foul past the first base coach, Andy Bersinger, 0-1. Hamilton looking for his first base hit of the ball game. He is 0 for 3. He walked and scored back in the 5th inning, one of the 2 Crabs runs. The 0-1 pitch, down low and away, 1-1. Manning gets a sign from Handley. Comes to the rest. And the 1-1 pitch. Misses wide, 2-1. Hamilton, as we mentioned, a propensity to walk. Crabs need base runners, lots of them. The 2-1 pitch. Misses outside, throw back to first base, and diving safely back is Thielander. Boy, the last thing you want to do when you're behind like this is to get picked off first base. Conservative is the word.
And the Crabs seem to have a propensity for it this season.
They
so
have.
I want to
They
be
have.
careful over there.
3-1 the count now to Hamilton. Manning's 3-1 pitch. Strike 2 called. At the knees, outside part of the play. So the count goes full. Here comes the 3-2. Fouled back, out of play. We'll do it again. This is likely the last batter that Manning is going to face, because you got the right-handed hitting Pozos
Yeah.
coming up, and you've got a right-hander in the bullpen. So probably the last pitch of the ball game right here for Austin Manning. Again, here's the payoff pitch. High pop-up foul, and it's going to be out of play. Back into the stands. So we'll do it again, 3-2. Left-hander versus left-hander. Crab runners take their leads from first and third. Manning's payoff pitch to Hamilton. Strike 3 called. Hamilton down on strikes. 1 away. A big call by the home plate umpire Cowan, but it was not disputed.
No, that was a
was
good
in
pitch. Yep. You could tell Hamilton was disappointed, but not.
Yeah.
He wasn't disagreeing. He was just frustrated.
Here's Pozos. Bryan 1 for 3 on the afternoon. He's been hit by a pitch, so Manning's going to stay in. And throw been down to first base, and they almost had him. The catcher, Handley, has shown us a good arm both to second and to first, and boy, that was close at first. Thielander got to be careful over there. Manning at the set. The 1-0 to Pozos. Bryan swings and hits it right to the second baseman on the line. He throws to first for the double play. That's the third double play the Crabs had hit into. That one was a tough one as he got good wood on it, but lined it right to Quintana. Thielander an easy double off at first, and that'll do it for the Crabs. They do come up with 1 run on a pair of hits, no errors and 1 left. And at the end of 8 complete now, it's the PUF Caps 11 and the Crabs 3. You're listening to Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480 Arcadia, Rico.
All right, new pitcher on the mound for the Crabs. It's Austin Ragsdale. He comes in with a record of 2-0, an ERA of 1.27, 15 appearances, all in relief, 21 and a third innings pitched, 3 walks and 20 strikeouts. So let's see if Ragsdale can do what none of the other pitchers today seem to have been able to do for the Crabs, and that's get some outs.
I can't believe there have been more than 18 hits this season against the Crabs in any single
I think this
game.
is the worst blowout they've suffered this season.
Yeah.
They had one other game earlier in the season that was pretty bad, where they lost by 10 runs, I think. But
all right, here we go into the top of the 9th inning.
Quiggle's going to bat for Acosta.
Mr. Quiggle, who we saw earlier in the series. Kona Quiggle, K-O-N-A, to pinch hit for Acosta here in the 9th inning.
He got one at bat last night, didn't get a hit, and then he started the game and went 0 for 2 on Friday night.
First pitch from Austin Ragsdale is a called strike. Big cut. He comes up empty. Ragsdale ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. And the 0-2. Breaking ball got him swinging on 3 pitches. Quiggle down on strikes. And that will bring up Javier Valdez Jr. 1 hit in 3 official trips. He's also been hit twice. And he swings a little, foul ball over by the first base line, strike 1. 938 fans came out to see today's ball game. They're not all here now, but a good
838 have left.
Yeah, look. There's a line drive to the shortstop on 1 hop. Hamilton's throw to first in time for the second out, 2 down. Not all the kids have left because some of them want to
run the bases
after the ball game and high-five the Crabs from coming home from third to home. Here is Nicholas Quintana. Quintana takes a strike, 0-1. 11 runs, 18 hits for the PUF Caps this afternoon. They have shredded Crabs pitching. fouled at the plate. No balls and 2 strikes.
Vandenstein gave up 5 earned runs in 4 innings. Watland, 2 earned runs in 3 innings. Calderhead, 2 earned runs in a third of an inning. Hernandez, 2 earned runs in 2/3 of an inning. Yikes.
The next pitch swung on and missed, and for the first time in the ball game, the PUF Caps are down in order. Nothing across, and at the end of 8.5, the score remains PUF Caps 11 and the Crabs 3. You're listening to Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480, Arcadia, Eureka.
All right. We're back. Outman, Newman, and Perry. Last chance for the Crabs, trailing 11-3.
The good news is it's the heart of the order for the Crabs.
That's right.
The bad news is we're down 8 runs.
8 runs. 11 runs on 18 hits with 2 errors for the Capitalists. Crabs 3 runs, 10 hits, no errors.
Outman has been on base every time he's been up. He was on as a result of an error. He's had 2 singles, and he's been hit by a pitch. He's stolen a base. And he leads off against the left-hander Austin Manning. We're a little surprised he's in here. There's a ground ball down to the first baseman. He's up with it, throwing to the pitcher, covering, and he's not going to get it. He drops the ball, and we'll see if that's going to be an error on the pitcher. Yeah, they had him out, but he dropped the ball. All right, so the first leadoff batter aboard for the Crabs. That's the 3rd consecutive time.
Outman's been aboard on an error.
Yeah,
huh? Yep.
One on the shortstop, one on the second baseman, and now one on the pitcher. How about that?
That's what happens when you put the ball in play regularly.
That's right. Here's Newman. Newman, a couple of singles in 4 trips. Outman held on at first base by Doshbach. Absolutely unlikely that he's going to be going anywhere. The pitch is fouled off out of play. Strike 1 to Newman. Crabs trailing by 8. This would be the greatest comeback in the history of the team. But it's not over yet.
Or pretty much any
Ground
team.
ball to the left side and by the third baseman into left field for a base hit. Stopping at second base is Outman, and the Crabs have the first 2 batters aboard. Ain't over till it's over. Ain't over till it's over. Here is Perry. Perry 1 for 4 on the afternoon, and that is going to be all for Manning. The manager coming out. He wanted Manning to face the left-handed hitting Outman, and then after he gave up the hit to Newman, I think that's going to do it, and he is going to go to the bullpen. So that'll do it for Austin Manning. He has been outstanding in relief, and unless the Crabs can stage a miracle rally here in the 9th inning, Manning stands to be the winning pitcher. We have someone trotting in from the bullpen. We'll get a name and as soon as we can and add him to the list. As we do that, we want to thank the people who have helped keep the Crabs on the air and on the field during the 2016 season. We're talking about the Alibi on the Plaza, California State Federal Employees Credit Union, Eureka Rubber Stamp, Harper Motors, the Lost Coast Brewery, the Mad River Brewing Company, North Coast Audiology, North Coast Co-op, Patty Stokeham of Remax Realty, and True Motion Fitness. And we thank all these folks for their patronage, and we certainly enjoy having you along with us during our Crabs broadcast. When you're not able to make it out to the ballpark, glad you can follow us online or on radio. And we always say, if you want to bring your radio to the ballpark, it's like being at a doubleheader, because you got the game that you see in front of you and the game we call from the booth.
That's right.
And that's like
Two different games.
2 games for the price of one.
Preston Price will be the relief pitcher, number 4.
That's alliterative. Preston
It is
Price.
alliterative, yes.
The Crabgrass Band playing one of my favorite tunes. The Funky Chicken, is that what it's called? Some kind of chicken.
I think it's just called the Chicken Dance.
The Chicken Dance. And a couple of Crabs fans doing the Chicken Dance right in front of the home plate area. They might even be on camera. All right. Here is Michael Perry coming up to bat with runners at first and second, nobody out in the bottom of the 9th inning. Crabs have hit into 3 double plays today. Perry, one of them, in his last at bat. Right-handed pitcher Preston Price comes to the plate. Perry takes a pitch a little outside, 1-0.
Crabs have had a few 10-run innings this season, so
Not out of the question.
not totally out of the question.
The 1-0 to Perry. Fouls it back, a big cut by Michael, and the count 1-1.
Actually, they only need 9, so they've had a 9-run inning. They had at least one 9-run inning. I think 2 9-run innings and one 10-run inning.
The pitch to Perry. High with a fastball, 2-1. A goodly contingent of fans still here, urging the Crabs on.
True fans.
The 2-1. High pop-up on the infield. That's the infield fly rule is called. The shortstop will put it away. 1 down. Perry pops to short, and that'll bring up Ryan Reynolds. Reynolds 1 for 3 on the afternoon and a walk. Now turning around and batting from the left side against the right-hander, Preston Price. All right, Reynolds steps into the batter's box. Price, back foot on the rubber, comes to the stretch. And the pitch to Reynolds. Ground ball to the right side. Second baseman's got it. Nice play. Throw to first base, and it's dropped by the first baseman. No, he's able to glove it for the out. On the play, Newman moves to second base. Outman to third. And the Crabs are down to their final out, and that'll be Jacob Thurber coming to the bat. Doshbach able to get a handle on that throw in time to retire Reynolds. Now runners at second and third, 2 down, and Thurber, the last hope for the Crabs, stands in. The pitch from Price. Thurber takes a fastball just outside, 1-0.
Crabs have hit into 3 double plays in this game and left 11 runners on base.
Wow. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss by Thurber, 1-1.
Crabs have 11 hits, but only 3 runs to show for it.
Yeah, well, they've twice had the bases loaded and got nothing in those 2
That's
instances.
Right.
That hurts.
3 double plays, as I said.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Fouled at the plate, so the Crabs now down to their final strike. From the standpoint of the PUF Caps, a glorious finish to a good season. They will go to 25-14 with
Crabs
this victory.
28-15.
The 1-2 pitch. Outside with a fastball, 2-2. The 2-2 offering. High pop-up, foul territory, out of play. Preston working from the stretch with runners at second and third. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 outs. And the 2-2 pitch. Again, Thurber fouls it off to stay alive. All right, 2-2 to Thurber. The 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called, and that's the ball game. Thurber didn't like it, but that'll do it.
Well, none of us like it, do we?
No. No, we don't. So, the final score. Well, let's have Benjamin give us the final totals.
For the victorious PUF Caps, 11 runs on 18 hits. They committed 3 errors. The win will go to Austin Manning. For the Crabs in the loss, 3 runs, 11 hits, no errors. The loss goes to Reed Fanenstein, who's now 4-2 on the season. Crabs go to 28-15. When Tuesday night, it'll be the Berkovich baseball Tuesday and Wednesday night starting at 7 o'clock, and I'll be here to bring you all the action. Looking forward to it.
Well, we had everything at the ballpark today except a win for the Crabs. We had gorgeous weather, the Crabgrass Band in fine fettle this afternoon, sun-drenched crowd, but it was not the day for the Crabs. It was the day for the PUF Caps, who end their season on a high note, winning the rubber game of this 3-game series with the Humboldt Crabs. All right, that'll do it from the ballpark this afternoon. Any final thoughts, Benjamin?
Yeah, I'll be out on the ledge if you need me.
All right. For my broadcasting buddy, Benjamin Schaefer, who we're trying to keep from going over the ledge, I'm Hoke Holcomb, and we're rounding third and heading for home.
And welcome back to the Arcata Ballpark, where it was a rough afternoon for the Crabs as they fall 11-3 to the Pacific Union Financial Capitalists. We were joking that maybe here in Arcata, capitalism may fall, but certainly it has held strong this weekend as they take 2 out of 3 over the Humboldt Crabs. It was a 6-5 win on Friday. The Crabs came back with a 9-0 win yesterday, but were unable to duplicate their offensive success this afternoon, again, as they fall by 8 runs, 11-3, as all the kids are running the bases. Yeah, fun afternoon activity, a baseball game, and then they come off, burn some steam by running the bases here at the ballpark, and it's always fun watching them run around. They get the high five all the Crabs players and all that. Great time out here at the ballpark. So the Crabs, yeah, they had their opportunities today. They had 11 base hits, but were only able to get 3 runs out of it, on top of the fact that the Capitalists committed 3 errors defensively. And on top of that, 5 walks issued by Capitalist pitching. So really, when it comes down to the opportunities the Crabs had, they had them, but they couldn't execute in most of the instances they needed to. And because of that, they fell 11-3. Although, again, the pitching staff did not do what they needed to either to keep the Capitalists at bay, as they exploded for 18 base hits and 11 runs. So their 3 errors really were all a moot point. And it's going to take a while to recap each inning. So I'll just say that the Capitalists started things off in a quick hurry. Matthew Acosta led off the game with a home run, a solo home run. It was 1-0 immediately. And then in the second inning, the Capitalists would add 4 more runs. So there was 5-0 after the second inning. A leadoff single in that inning by Cameron Eden, followed by another single by Maverick Hanley, and then an RBI single by Dominic Fletcher. Bunch of more singles right there. And then we had an RBI sacrifice fly by Matthew Acosta. So he had 2 RBIs in the first 2 innings. And then another RBI single by Nicholas Quintana. 4 runs and all scored in that second inning. It was 5-0 in favor of the Capitalists. And it would be that way until the bottom of the 5th. That's when the Crabs would really show some offensive life, really for the first time today. Although they did have one opportunity before that. We'll get into that. The second inning, they did not score a run, but they had the bases loaded, nobody out. A leadoff single by Michael Perry, followed by a single by Ryan Reynolds, and Jacob Thurber walked. That was the bases loaded, nobody out, and at the time, it was still just 5-0, after the Capitalists had scored a run in the first, 4 in the second. So 5-0 at that point. The Crabs had a really good look at the game, bases loaded, nobody out, so they were looking for a big inning, and Newt Johnson came up and hit into a 1-2-3 double play right back to the pitcher, who threw to the catcher to get the force at home, and then to first for the double play, and then Logan Bush would then hit back to the box to end the inning. So 5-0, even though the Crabs had the bases loaded, nobody out in that second inning. And it would be that way until the 5th, and the Crabs would get 2 runs then, all with 2 out. David Hamilton would walk, followed by a walk to Brian Pozos, who would each advance on a wild pitch, and then James Outman came up with a 2 RBI single, and that was 5-2 at that point. And the Capitalists, however, would get it right back in the 7th inning. A 1-out single by Cameron Eden was followed by a 2-run home run by Maverick Hanley, and it was right over the fence onto the 101 freeway, over the left field fence onto the 101 freeway, and that gave the Capitalists the runs right back, as at that point it went from 5-2 to 7-2. The Crabs would go scoreless in the bottom of the 7th inning, and then the Capitalists would really put the game out of reach in the 8th. And they would send 10 batters to the plate in that inning, as Alejandro Lera was both the first and last man up, as he led off with a single, advanced on a couple of wild pitches, and then scored on an RBI double by Javier Valdez. Valdez would then be singled in by Andrew Doshbach after a Nicholas Quintana single, and then Maverick Hunley, after another out was made, would hit an RBI single of his own. And 4 runs would come in that 8th inning. The Crabs would get 1 in the bottom of the 8th to kind of make it somewhat more of a respectable score, an 8-run score, really. How respectable can that be? But they did show some life in the last couple innings, but at that point it was just too little too late. A leadoff walk by Jacob Thurber, followed by a double by Newt Johnson, and then an RBI single by Mason Thielander, who was pinch hitting for Logan Bush. That made it 11-3. The Crabs would get a couple on and nobody out in the 9th inning, but were unable to score. James Outman reached on an error, a single by Jason Newman, but then a ground out and then a strikeout would end the game. So the Crabs unable to keep the offense going and really had their opportunities as they hit into 3 double plays today. They hit into 3 double plays as they had runners on base but just couldn't drive them in. So take a look at the, if we could find them, the runners left on base numbers. As they apparently are not up, so either way, they left a bunch of guys on base. Don't have the exact number on that one, but oh, yes, we do. They left 13 runners on base. Here it is, 13 runners on base. The Capitalists actually left 10 men on base, so really they could have gotten a lot more than they did, but 10 men on base by the Capitalists, 13 left by the Crabs, and really that's why 13 base runners stranded. That's why the Crabs were unable to get more than 3 runs. Take a look at the offensive performance by each team. First for the Crabs, David Hamilton 0 for 4 with a run scored. Brian Pozos 1 for 4 with a run scored. And James Outman went 2 for 4 with 2 runs batted in. Jason Newman went 3 for 5. Michael Perry went 1 for 5. And Ryan Reynolds went 1 for 4. Jacob Thurber 0 for 3 with a run scored. Newt Johnson 2 for 4. And Mason Thielander as a pinch hitter went 1 for 1 with an RBI. But that's all the offense the Crabs will get. 3 runs on 11 base hits is the offensive output from the Crabs this afternoon. The Capitalists, Matthew Acosta had himself a pretty good game. 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run scored. Javier Valdez went 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. And Nicholas Quintana 3 for 6 with an RBI and a run scored. Cameron Eden, for the first time we saw him in this series, made his mark known. 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored. And Maverick Hanley, the catcher, 3 for 5, 3 runs batted in, including that big 2-run home run in the 7th inning. He also scored 2 runs. Dominic Fletcher, 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run scored. And Alejandro Lara, 3 for 5 with 2 runs scored. So that makes it 11 runs, 18 hits for the Pacific Union Financial Capitalists. Home runs by Matthew Acosta and by Maverick Hanley helped them generate that amount of offensive output. And taking a look at the pitching, and for the Crabs, really just was not a good day all around for their pitching staff. With the exception of Austin Ragsdale, he had a perfect 9th inning. Granted, the game was out of hand, but give him credit. He is the only guy who had a 1-2-3 inning, and that was the only inning, and there was a 1-2-3 inning. It was that 9th inning, as he went that 1 inning and struck out 2 batters, not allowing any base runners. Otherwise, it was base runners aplenty for the Capitalists. Reed Fanenstein pitched 4 innings, gave up 8 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned. There were no errors committed by the Crabs, so all 11 runs by the Capitalists were earned. Fanenstein did strike out 3 batters without walking anyone. Justin Watland didn't fare much better. 4 hits, 2 runs, and did get 3 strikeouts, no walks. Kevin Calderhead really got knocked around as he only recorded 1 out in that 8th inning, allowing 2 base hits, 2 runs. And Matthew Hernandez, 2/3 of an inning, allowing 4 base hits and 2 runs. And then the aforementioned performance, Austin Ragsdale, a scoreless, a perfect 9th inning. But at that point, the game was already out of hand. So when all is said and done, 11 runs, 18 hits, 3 errors for the Pacific Union Financial Capitalists. 3 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Humboldt Crabs. And the Capitalists take 2 out of 3 games here at the Arcata Ballpark as the Crabs fall to 28-15. So 15 losses, that's quite a bit. It's been a while since they've had that many in the season, and that just goes to show how high of a standard the Crabs have established for successful summers. Last year they went 42-9, and this year not quite the same, 28-15, but there are a lot of teams out there who would absolutely kill to have a record like that. And the Crabs, for them, it's more of a disappointment, but it goes to show the type of talent they have on their roster year in and year out. But the Capitalists themselves, they're no slouches. They've got guys, most of them just straight out of high school. Yeah, most of them haven't even started college yet, but every single player heading to a Division I school on a scholarship. So really, they brought a talented team in here this weekend and gave the Crabs all they could handle, winning 2 out of 3 games. One of them was close, a 6-5 win on Friday, and they were really aided by 5 Crabs errors. as the poor defense by the Crabs on Friday led to that win, and the Crabs were able to win 9-0 yesterday, but they ran out of offense today as they couldn't match the 11 runs the Capitalists scored, only getting 3 today. So 2 out of 3 wins for the Capitalists over the Crabs, as the Crabs now get to enter in their final week of the season. Yeah, it's hard to believe it. We're in our final week of the season here at the Arcata Ballpark. It's always been a fun couple of months as the Crabs will welcome Berkovich baseball on a Tuesday and on Wednesday. And then don't forget the Humboldt Invitational Tournament coming up this weekend. The Crabs will have a rare Thursday game. So here's the schedule for the upcoming week. Tuesday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. against Berkovich baseball. And then the Humboldt Invitational Tournament will take place Thursday through Sunday. The Crabs will play at 7 o'clock each on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The Crabs will be at 7 o'clock Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And on Sunday will be the semifinal, and then the final game. They'll guaranteed to play at 2 o'clock on Sunday, one of the semifinals, but we'll also get into the other teams that'll be there. That'll be the Auburn Wildcats, Solano Mudcats, and Alameda Merchants. We don't have the exact schedule for when each team will face each other. What we can tell you, though, is that the Crabs will be playing at 7 o'clock each on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and 2 o'clock on Sunday. There is a possibility the Crabs will also be playing at 6 o'clock if they win on Sunday. So the 6 o'clock game on Sunday will be between the winners of the 10 o'clock a.m. and the 2 p.m. semifinal game. So pretty simple. The Crabs win on Sunday at 2. They play at 6. If they lose, their season is over. And it'd be 2 other teams that advance to the final round at 6 o'clock for the Humboldt Invitational Tournament on a Sunday. Otherwise, for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it'll be a mixture of the Solano Mudcats, Auburn Wildcats, Alameda Merchants playing at 3 o'clock each on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Again, the Crabs playing at 7 o'clock on each of those days. So as far as I know, the regular tickets and passes will be good for the tournament. They were for the West Coast Showcase, so unless we hear anything different, passes will be honored throughout the tournament, as there'll be 9 games played throughout the 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, as we got 4 highly talented teams taking place in a season-ending tournament here at the Arcata Ballpark. So we're really excited about that. And again, please make some time to come to the ballpark if you can, if not just for the Crabs, but for all the other games that will be going on. Is there going to be some high-quality baseball here in Arcata. The Crabs games will be on radio on 1480 KGOE. I don't believe any of the other games. We'll have streaming on the Humboldt Crabs website. HumboldtCrabs.com/watch will have every single game of the tournament. And the games involving the Crabs will be on the radio on AM 1480. Yes, it is only going to be the Crabs games only on AM 1480 KGOE. So keep that in mind. Crabs will be on radio when they play. The other games, actually all games including the Crabs and the non-Crabs games, will be available on their live web stream, HumboldtCrabs.com/watch, also under the Humboldt Crabs channel on YouTube. So lots of exciting baseball coming up. The Crabs will have their last off day of the summer tomorrow, but they'll be back in action at Tuesday as Berkovich baseball comes into town for a short 2-week series, and then the Humboldt Invitational Tournament begins on Thursday. Well, that'll wrap it up here for us. I'd like to thank the Pacific Union Financial Capitalists with all their help and information. Same with the Humboldt Crabs. And I'd like to thank the boss of Bicoastal Media, Tom Seaborn, working the magic in our Bicoastal Eureka studios, making us sound good, keeping us on the air, and doing all the hard part behind the scenes. So speaking for them and speaking for Benjamin Schaefer and Hoke Hokum, this is Kevin White saying so long from the Arcata Ballpark, where the Pacific Union Financial Capitalists beat the Humboldt Crabs 11-3, and they take 2 out of 3 games here in the weekend series. Our next broadcast will be Tuesday evening at first pitch, scheduled for 7 p.m. The Humboldt Crabs and Berkovich baseball will be on the air around 6:50, and if you are coming to the ballpark, the gates will open at 6 p.m. And until next time, have a very pleasant good afternoon, everybody.